The only thing I didn't switch.
Where's that?
Click on it and then it'll... Yeah, there you go. Round winner. Just change it to Tuesday.
Here we are! We're connecting.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Paragon City Games Tuesday Legacy. We are excited to give you some content. Ah, yeah.
Here we are. No, not just content. Awesome Tuesday Legacy content,
Yes.
right?
The greatest format.
Here we go. Right? We haven't had that guy in,
No.
in weeks and weeks, but
And that's
still.
okay. That's okay.
There we go. There's one. Where's Twitch?
It said we were online, so yeah. We're good. It's just
not
thinking.
connecting.
It's thinking.
It's thinking about connecting. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Let's just jump right into this.
Let's do it.
We've got Paul playing some lands, and I totally did that backwards, didn't I?
Yes. You can just move them.
Paul's on the other side. And Jordan playing some Reanimator. There we go. And as our backup match, we have...
Some Allurin. And some Reanimator? Reanimator Depths, maybe? ATO.
Wow.
Spelling.
Sometimes you just stop thinking there.
And this is Matt on Allurin.
Excellent. Okay. There we go. We got some shuffling. The best part.
Yes.
The most exciting part, everyone.
It's probably more shuffling in Legacy than actual playing, but
it's probably less than some formats. Modern for a while felt like we were in the fetching phase of the game every few turns. Here we go. So we gotta see. Yeah, Paul is on lands there.
We're getting a mulligan out of Jordan.
And there's we've already had a mulligan from Paul as well.
So interesting. He's on this Reanimator deck, and we don't actually know if it's the red-black version or if it's the blue-black version.
Yes, and he just said he was a little new into it. He just traded into this from something else.
Yeah, he said he played Delver before, and now he's built the Reanimator deck. But which Reanimator? I'm curious, because they are very different strategies. Like,
post to here.
Hmm?
You want to post? Or did you already?
I started it up. I didn't actually post anything. I don't
It just
think.
says going live, huh?
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's all we needed to know. I just remember if we still do it.
For sure.
All right, here we go. He's scrying. He's finished scrying. He's leaving it on top. It better be awesome then, right?
Yes.
Reanimator wants that card to be perfect. And he starts the game with Chance of the Axe.
It's going to reveal that card. It's going to make it so the first spell that Paul casts will get countered unless he pays 1. So this is a bit of an annoyance.
Yeah, sometimes lands doesn't really care, but
No.
he doesn't get the turn 1 exploration or whatever else he may have wanted to do.
Right.
Try this out and see how it works.
Okay. Alright, so he's going to go get a bad land. So this looks like the red-black version. That is a kind of hyper Reanimator.
Can we do the same trick? Cannot. Interesting.
No. It's set up for a certain spot, though. That's the only reason why not.
Yeah.
Okay, Faithless Looting. It's going to discard a Gristlebrand into Chancellor.
Look at that Badlands. Man, that thing is pretty.
That is a Bortify sleeve. 100%.
It's like super black on the, on the edge of the sleeve, right? Those are pretty cool. I actually haven't seen those played yet. I've just seen the ad for them. So it's probably just a revised Badlands, but then the sleeve itself has a black border all the way around it. Huh?
Yep, and same with the Anime Dead.
And it looks like somebody just took a Sharpie all the way around each one.
Yeah. I know Alton's playing with them too. I don't love them, but I don't completely hate them. I don't know. I have mixed feelings. So he crop rotates. Now this is interesting because he had to pay the extra.
But that's gone now.
Yes.
The tax from Chancellor of the Annex is no longer a thing. This is a turn 1. No, turn 2. This is a turn 2.
He faithless looting to turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to respond by going and getting a Bajuka Bog, and he's just going to completely kill Jordan's turn.
And the Anime Dead doesn't have a target.
Doesn't have a target, it should fizzle.
And then go to the graveyard, right?
Yes.
It doesn't get exiled. Yeah, that's unfair. Lands shouldn't be able to do that. Everybody else has to play Surgical Extraction. Lands gets to play crop rotation, which it wants
into Bajuka Bog.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't mind that you were going to do that. And a gamble. Also, not a fair card. This lands deck is just not very fair.
No.
That's what I've decided. He goes and gets a Dark Depths, it looked like, instead of Loam.
I actually played against a lands deck in my round 2 from last Friday. Granted, I was playing a weird deck, but he killed me on turn 3 both games.
Right. And sometimes that just happens.
Most times I see this deck play, it's a very grindy game, but every once in a while they'll just get this mana bond hand, but they just get to dump their board on, their hand onto the board.
Alright, Paul has to discard a Maze of Abyss, so that means he probably has a Loam in hand. And yeah, he does. And then he just got a Dark Depths. So this game is wrapping up. This guy has no faith. No faith.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much there. Looks like he's going to discard another Faithless Looting. I'm not sure what the card is at the top of his hand. Are we not up? We have a viewer.
Yeah.
Or is that us?
Right? It's a busy Tuesday, apparently. Everyone else is having fun doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe Reanimator versus Lands is
not what people want to be looking at.
We're good. But look at that playmat.
It is very
Star City Games Regional Championships playmat's pretty cool.
It is gorgeous.
Tidespout Tyrant goes in the graveyard.
And a Thoughtseize. That's what he discarded.
Does Tidespout give him an out against the 2020?
Yes. It's when you cast a spell. So whenever you play a spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand. So if he had an instant, it would be, you could bounce at 2020. Huh? Yep.
That's pretty cool. He has to get it out.
And with that Wasteland taking care of his only mana source, I'm not seeing that he has another mana source. Thoughtseize, Faithless Looting.
Right.
Oh, okay. Alright. He's going to exile a Dark Writ to a Chrome Mox and Thoughtseize.
Paul's like, okay.
You completely miss.
I had a Life of the Loam, and even if you were going to take one of my cards, I'd just get that back.
I have these lands. Yep, and we'll get a Dark Depths. And next turn, we're going to try to finish things up.
Otospedal, Faithless Looting. Here it is, right here. If he gets, there's no chance. Nothing happens. He's got to draw the Entomb, or not. He's got to draw the Reanimate.
Yeah.
Not put it in the graveyard. Okay.
I'll do it.
So Paul gets the first round there, first game of round 1, and let's see what's happening over here on this other table. They are always shuffling and mulliganing, and sideboarding right when we want to switch.
That was such a fast game too. That means both of these matches just ended.
Yeah, very quick.
And our other match is Reanimator versus Allurin. Jeez, I feel like we're just getting more Reanimator decks in this store. Just more people and more people.
Yeah. For a while, when we very first started Tuesday Legacy here, it was huge.
Right.
So much so that everybody packed a ton of hate.
Mm-hmm.
Graveyard. I had like Surgical Extractions and Fairy Macabrays in my sideboard, right?
Yeah.
Like, which is ridiculous. And that was playing. I was on like a Sultai control list at the time, or something like that, and it was effective. And so it pretty much hated Reanimator out of the format, out of the metagame here.
Right.
But it's been long enough now that I think it can kind of come back. And
I have 3 ley lines, 2 Surgical Extraction, and Grafdigger's Cage. And lately, I've been losing so much to this deck, or it's been like every loss I've had, that I just need to go up on my ley line 4. It's a bad matchup for the deck that I run, so. Well, people are taking their sweet time.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that all this shuffling can happen. Looks like we may start the other game first here. Let's jump over that. See what these guys are up to. We'll watch other people shuffle. It's much more exciting to change to some different shuffling. We've got Matt and our Paragon City's own Alton.
Yeah, Alton's one of the owners here. And it looks like he's playing a Reanimator deck tonight as well. This might be, I think this may be Patrick's deck though. This is a Reanimator Depths deck.
Good evening to you too, Jorgensen.
Welcome in.
We're in the shuffling phase of Tuesday Legacy. It's the most exciting part.
My favorite.
Yeah. Kai and I get to comment on the color of sleeves and the shuffling style.
Everybody has a different shuffling style.
Flash Flare, how are you doing, sir? So our main match is Reanimator versus Lands, and Lands quickly took that down. We're on our backup match, which I thought might start first, but there's some mulliganing going on.
And that's a Reanimator versus Allurin.
You tend to tune out as soon as the shuffling is done. Oh, they're playing. Let's just turn down that volume. Thanks for reason. Yes. Do we live stream? Do we do a live stream of Modern?
We do not. We have been talking about getting Modern tournaments going here, but last time we tried to get Modern going, we tried to get it going on Thursdays, and that didn't quite happen. Our biggest Modern nights are Fridays, but we do Legacy.
Yeah.
We want to promote Legacy as much as we can.
Right. So Modern is definitely being played here on Fridays.
It's actually our biggest tournament on Fridays.
Yep.
Usually somewhere around 30 people.
But there doesn't seem to be a ton of quality Legacy content where the field is competitive, and so it seems like streaming it on Fridays is the way to go.
We did do a PPTQ that was Modern, and we live streamed the whole thing. That's the only Modern event that we've done a stream of, though, and it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to cast that one.
All right, so we're gonna jump back over to this top table here, where we see also Reanimator, red-black Reanimator versus Lands, and Jordan last game had the Chancellor of the Annex to start it off, and he tried to animate Dead of Grizzlebrand. Paul responded with he was able to pay for the attacks on crop rotation, got a Bajuka Bog, and pretty much ended the game right then. And looks like Jordan's going to mulligan. I thought they were done mulliganing.
All right, back to the other game.
Back to this one, where there's actually cards in play.
All right, so we've got Alton has a Leyline of the Void that came in pregame.
That's rude.
And that is rude,
card?
but this is Allurin. I do. But this is Allurin, though. Like, I'm not entirely sure how much this hurts.
Not much.
I can't imagine a lot. Whereas this Spell Bomb, it's gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah. The Spell Bomb hurts Alton a lot more than the Leyline hurts Matt. Maybe the game ended quick enough, game 1, we didn't see it, that Alton's not sure he's on alert. Maybe he just saw
maybe
some underground seas or something.
Do we play Legacy? Absolutely. I play more Legacy than any other format.
In fact, Kyer and I play Legacy on Friday nights.
Yes.
And we often get paired against each other. Because that's how the world works. All right, here we go. We're jumping back. Kyer is on a... What deck do you play in Legacy?
I play Punishing Junt.
Punishing Junt.
I have been...
He's that kind of guy.
I have been really successful with this deck in the last month. I think I've played it here like 6 or 7 times, and I've 3-0'd like 5 of those times.
See how he subtly said right after I said that we keep playing each other, and he just subtly, I
win a lot with
I've
it.
been winning, huh?
Yeah.
right, Jorgensen.
Yeah, except for that week. That was super funny. Both in the O2 bracket, and then we get paired. Right. We're like, yeah, we're good at this game.
So this is a common question. We get this one a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Somebody is just starting out in Legacy. I think that they might be here tonight, and they're starting out on Burn.
Yeah.
It's one of the least expensive decks. It's also very similar to the modern Burn, so you can kind of have both built.
Yeah.
That's not how I would recommend it.
No, I would not recommend Burn. The cool thing, Flash Flare, about Legacy is you really do get to play the style of Magic that you want to play. And if there is a deck that fits what you like to play, I strongly recommend just to play that deck.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy it the most. It's going to have the best longevity, and that's what I recommend. However, if you're just looking for a powerful deck, something that's going to win a lot, outside of price range, I'd say something like Lands or Delver. Storm is also incredibly powerful.
And all three of those decks play completely differently.
Yes.
Right?
So, very different strategies.
So that's the thing about Legacy, is you really want to pick something you enjoy. That's my take on it as well for getting into Legacy.
We have a player here that brings these just janky artifact decks like every week. And most weeks he won't 3-0, but like he loves coming and playing Legacy. Like that's what he wants to be playing, whether or not he's winning or losing. Okay,
so this is kind of a weird setup right here. It looks like we've got a discard to... Yeah, okay, yeah. Discard to the Brutality so that Jordan can get that Chancellor of Annex in his graveyard. And Paul is going to respond with Surgical Extraction. And he has to pay for it, obviously, because there's a Chancellor of Annex tax that was shown pre-game.
Yeah, so since it's the cost for Collector Brutality, the Chancellor is in the graveyard while the Brutality's on the stack, and he'll be able to hit those.
Right. It wouldn't have really mattered if he had waited until after the Brutality resolved, right?
Right.
Probably, but there's an instant speed reanimate, right?
Yeah.
Consume the sorcery speed.
Looking at. And so with that Surgical, we get to see Jordan's full hand, which is just a Reanimate Dead, and an Animate Dead, and Fairy Mackenbury.
Yeah,
that's not an impressive hand. From this standpoint, it looks really, really hard for Paul to lose this.
And the Fairy is going to specifically try and hit Life from the Loam, right? That's about it. Yep, very, very much so. And then there's also this Legacy is a little different than the rest of Magic in a way that there's a learning curve.
There is,
because you can Goldfish your deck and play it and learn it, or you can even test, but you need to learn sideboarding.
Right.
How to sideboard against other decks, how to play against other decks, because if you sit down and you find out you're playing against lands, if somebody drops a Grove turn 1 or something like that and you're guessing lands, you play very differently than if you're up against a Delver deck or a Death and Taxes deck. And so if you are just starting out, don't get as frustrated as maybe you would and switch decks as quick as you would starting out in Modern or Standard.
Every deck takes time to really learn well, just because of the fact that you really do need to know the format and your specific meta well enough to play well in it.
So it looks like Paul ghost quarters away Badlands, and Jordan doesn't go searching. So maybe that swamp is his only basic.
Yeah, most of these red-black Reanimator decks only have one basic, and this is gonna hurt Jordan a lot because of the sphere of resistance in play.
Yeah, it's rude.
It is.
Let's see, he needs to pay one more for that life, right? Sphere makes it cost one more. There we go.
Got it. He's like, it's fine. I'll take 2 more life. Not a big deal.
Yep. So he gets his. He just really wants that ghost quarterback, right?
Right.
He wants to take out that last basic land.
So, it's Tony. What's wrong with the Bortifies, huh?
He just Bortifies. Just statement word.
I mean, thank you for pointing them out, but I guess I want.
Yes,
Jordan, I want context.
Jordan is playing, so he wants to use the Fairy Macabre here, right? Oh, he doesn't want to wait.
Yeah, he probably thinks that there's a trigger that goes on the stack, and that's just not how it works.
Oops.
What's not wrong with Bortifies? Yeah, I'm not sure.
See,
that's a better question.
Like I said, this is the first time I've seen them, and they are glossy.
Like really glossy.
Like they really look like somebody just took a Sharpie to a really nice clean edge Sharpie, but
I will say this about Bortifies though. Only one side of the sleeve has the border, and on the other side of the sleeve it's completely clear. So if you want to get Bortifies and like Bortify a couple specific cards and then like flip them backwards on all the other ones, then they won't be Bortified.
Okay.
So you could just get them as perfect fits, and they look like a normal perfect fit unless you specifically turn them on the Bortify side. Does that make sense?
No,
like,
at all.
one side is Bortified and the other one is completely clear.
Okay. And so
you choose which way you want to put the card in.
Because it covers up the border on the back side, you don't see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So only part... I think if you're going to Bortify your deck, you got to Bortify all of it.
I agree.
This is going to take a little while, but eventually Paul's going to have this.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time here with the Sphere of Resistance. Jordan's got a ways to go. I think he really needed to try and use that Fairy Macabre on Life of the Loam when it was an option for him, or even here still. I don't know why he's not trying to get rid of the Fairy.
Right.
There isn't anything else Paul wants in his graveyard other than that Life of the Loam.
And you can either not use the Fairy or you can concede.
Yeah.
I think this is the more tedious version. Hey, Jordan can use the Bortifies. It's fine. We don't have to like them. And he can play with them. It's all right. It's all good.
So I think we probably should switch over to this other match.
I agree.
Because I don't see how Jordan's coming back from this one. He needs 3 lands in a row and other things to make this happen. Okay, so here we have Alton versus Reanimator. Somebody else already won. Somebody's won game 1. We're just not sure who.
In fact, we should probably change the name on this one. This is very clearly Reanimator Depths. He has Thespian Stage and Urborg. So this is such an interesting deck. I've actually been talking to a couple people about this deck. It's kind of popped up recently. Yeah. It's not something that's been a huge part of this format.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll keep it available. We'll keep our eye on it for you, Jorgensen. There's the Sphere of Resistance is in play. He's got a Maze of Vith. He's got the Ghost Quarters.
He can't just pedal Ritual. There's a Sphere of Resistance.
Yeah, he's got to do a lot.
Yeah. But no, sorry, I'll continue my thought. This is an interesting deck because it doesn't have a plan A. It has like 3 plan Bs. It's this like kind of combo deck that has like 3 different combos, and maybe, it's hard to hate out.
And it can even just hard cast a Grave Titan.
See, and that's what's cool about it is a lot of time you can just, since it plays with more lands than a Reanimator deck, a lot of times you can just Dark Writ into Grave Titan or Gristlebrand. But Grave Titan is actually its like prime choice, which other Reanimator decks don't look at Grave Titan as their you know, like want to get it.
Yeah.
Creature to reanimate.
All right, so Alton's down to 8 life because there's 2 death rates in play. Looks like both graveyards are gone now, though. So those death rates don't do a heck of a lot anymore.
Nope, they attack for 1.
I'm not into...
They can double block a zombie.
But the Baleful Strixes are going to, you know, prevent the Grave Titan from going off, right?
Yes.
So this is a little bit more interesting board state than our other match, where
Absolutely.
one player has everything is out on the table and the other guy has nothing.
Yeah, Matt's really close to comboing off too. He has a learn. He just needs to find a piece, which he found Brainstorm. And that helped him find another Brainstorm.
Yeah.
All right. He's got to
yeah,
fetch.
He gets to fetch and get rid of those.
Excellent. Jorgensen, you don't think we're giving Reanimator enough credit? We just barely said that like we're having troubles with it and we keep losing to it.
And that might have played out differently had he used that fairy when he probably should have.
Yeah,
Unless
maybe.
I'm missing something that I don't think I'm missing.
Maybe he thinks that the Sphere of Resistance has something to do with it.
Because it wasn't out yet when that was
I guess that's true.
first an option.
Yeah.
He would have still had a land, and then your game plan would have worked. All right, so we've got some brainstorming, some pondering. He sees more lands that he doesn't want, and Strix that he's gonna. Okay, yeah, shuffle those away.
So we're looking for a Harpy. Another good card would be Shardless Agent.
Yeah. Woo. And in the meantime, Alton's sitting there going, "I've got a Grave Titan.
Yeah.
Just hanging out, waiting for you to finish your turn." I think he sings like that while he's thinking.
I'm almost positive that's how it goes.
Sometimes that's how my turns go against some of these waiting for things to happen. All right, Matt is on the Strix beatdown game plan here.
And this is a difficult board state for Alton to get around. In fact, a really difficult board state. 2 Baleful Strix. It means the Grave Titan can attack, even if he manages to get Merit
It's going
Lage.
to anyway.
He's going to be able to reanimate it.
All right, so we need a trigger of some zombies first. Here we go. There they are. Matt was quick to assign blockers. All right. Titan dies. It looks like a zombie should die. Okay. There we go.
Yep, we'll reanimate. This is going to put Alton to 1.
Okay. You tried?
Okay, yeah. And then Deathright's just going to get rid of it. Entomb.
And he has an Exhume in hand? This is kind of interesting. Oh, look at this trickery. Okay, so Alton goes to reanimate his Grave Titan, right? Which would have put him to 1. Matt would have had the game, right?
Yes.
He could have just attacked with the Strix. He fell for it and used his last mana to death right away the Grave Titan. Alton has in hand Entomb and Exhume, goes and gets an Elish Norn and says, "You might have just lost the game."
Yeah, that was
Matt scoops up.
That was an amazing play by Alton. Yeah, he fell for the bait, no kidding. Because Matt had it on board. You know, just like let him have the Grave Titan, attack with a couple Strix,
You
done.
go down to 1, your game's over.
Right.
All right, so that was game 2, and we're unsure of who won game 1.
We are.
So if these guys keep playing, it looks like they might be. Alton's shuffling instead of de-sideboarding. So we're going to go ahead and guess that they're on game 3.
I hope so. I want to watch some more Magic.
Right? All right. Jorgensen, I'm going to check for you, and it looks like Reanimator didn't win the other game. Sorry.
Sorry.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Paul's Lands deck again here later.
Yeah.
Against a different opponent.
Yeah, Paul's always around the top tables, right?
There's been, since just last Tuesday, there has been quite a bit of Magic news and product and things.
So we have things to talk about.
If we want to. Unless we just want to talk about sleeves and shuffling some more.
Yeah, I'm good not talking about sleeves.
Oh, okay. Luckily, these guys are already... It was a quicker
shuffle. Oh, they'll probably mulligan, you know, because they're in the feature match area.
Right.
Yeah, lots of new stuff.
Yeah, Arena might be fun to play.
I have high, not expectations, but high hopes.
And you should be able to join a closed beta right now, Jorgensen, if you want to test it out.
I've already put in for it. Yeah.
They haven't sent out invites yet, though.
Not that I know of, but I was talking to Brian earlier, and he was saying that our store has like a really, really good shot at being able to hand out beta invites to people, like as like prizes,
instead of just signing up for it. That makes sense, because Ixalan will be in the set. That makes a lot of sense. Don't be so logical, Jorgensen. Yeah, we have a Flusterstorm reprint. See how he just threw that in there?
Yep.
We're talking about something totally different. Flusterstorm!
It needed to happen so bad.
Okay, here's the first question with Flusterstorm.
Okay.
What will be the final resting price point of Flusterstorm? Right now it's like $90, right? 85, maybe 70.
I think we're going to see it around 30, 35.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes all the way down to $25. But that was okay. To give a little bit of credit, that was that price was back before the whole set was revealed, and I've been a little disappointed with the rest of the set.
Okay.
So the value of the whole set as a whole might not be enough to make it low.
I'm really excited about this. Every master set that comes out is just like adding a couple more foil cards to my cube. So I'm always like, yes, let's get some pretty things.
I might be able to get some serum powders and foil now. Finally.
Oh, finally! No, I need to get an Ancestral Visions. That has been a really pricey foil.
Yeah. Flusterstorm's already dropping down.
I need a foil Flusterstorm,
but that's because people are trying to unload them, and it's going to go lower than that as soon as there actually becomes
absolutely
some out there. Because who wants so many Flusterstorms? Some decks run 2. There's some of the current Miracles decks are running 4.
Right.
That's a very limited number of decks that actually want Flusterstorm. But there just was so few of them before.
Right.
All right, we've got
Cabal Therapy.
Yeah, the new cryptic art is really nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. You've got a foil signed Ancestral Visions for you? Oh, okay.
If you were going to unload Ancestral Visions and you didn't know that it was going to get reprinted, right? Like
it's like a $200 foil right now.
That was a pretty sure thing.
I think it might even be a little higher. Jesse, do you actually know how much that Ancestral Visions is worth? I'm super curious because I was at a GP and I jumped into a trade for a foil one time, and we got pretty far in the trade, and he finally looked at it and he was like, you know what, I think I'm going to hold on to it. I'd wasted 45 minutes in this trade, and he just backs out, and I'm like, oh, well, that is really unfortunate.
Alright, here comes a Strix. No audio! Are you unable to hear us? We've got audio.
It's showing us audio.
So there's this little button on your speakers that lets you turn them on.
You haven't looked yet, but it's totally available. Well, I mean, next time you're in town, come talk to me about it. I might consider it. If I don't find a if I don't find an iconic Masters one quickly, then I might take you up on that, because Mark Poole's amazing, and yeah, I'll let you know.
All right. Hiding Needle, naming. What do you name right there? It's kind of interesting. Alton didn't respond with his Fetchland.
You're gonna have to name Thespian Stage. Okay, so he's got double ley line. a Hex Mage, and a Grave Titan. So this is funny because I bet you anything he named Thespian Stage. I highly doubt he's going to name Hex Mage, right. Which puts Alton on finding another black source. If he can find one more black source, he can actually make Merit Age.
And there's a bunch of tokens on that Dark Depths. They just don't. Dark Depths is one of the weird cards where you almost don't need to put tokens on it, because unless your game plan is to start removing tokens.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Depths players who will put tokens on there only, or counters, only once they start removing them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll remove a counter. There's 9 left.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Jorgensen. The new art for it is gorgeous. And Jesse, I actually, the Ancestral Visions I have now, it's not foil, but it is signed by Mark Poole, so like, it is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous.
All right, so Matt's going to respond to this Thoughtseize with using up his Surgical Extraction.
Yeah.
And he gets to look at that hand and go, oh, he's got a Hex Mage in hand.
And this whole Pithing Needle interaction with Alton's deck is exactly why at Reanimator Depths is existing right now. So many people have sideboard cards that hate out a specific strategy, and this deck has like 3 different ways to do what it wants to do.
Yeah.
It has the Depths plan, it has the Reanimate plan, and it also ramps into creatures quite well. And so you play Pithing Needle, and like, what do you name?
Right. And taking out a Dark Ritual isn't bad, right? Because he's kind of taking out one of those ramp strategies,
right.
One of the 3 strategies.
Captain QC, what's up, man?
Just the late notice on the email notification, huh? We're here. We waited for you.
Yeah, we didn't ditch out on you.
This is, we'll pretend it's game 1.
This is kind of like game 1.
We're on game 3 of this matchup here.
We had lands beat Black Red Reanimator on our first table. Your car is getting repaired. You're stuck at home. That's like the best thing ever. Stuck at home. Sounds like winter in Utah.
All right. Matt is going to respond to a Reanimate with Death writing his own Baleful Strix. Playing Reanimate on your opponent's Baleful Strix.
Yep.
Right up.
1 mana, pay 2 life, replace itself.
Captain QC is everywhere. No, right now you're just at home, Captain QC.
Yeah, you just told us you're stuck at home. We know right where you are.
Don't even have your car right now. You stock Legacy? Well, we try and provide the content so that you can. Excellent.
No, there really just isn't enough Legacy content out there. Ever since, I think it was ever since Star City Games stopped, or mostly stopped Legacy for their opens. We just need to get more. That's low, man. Yeah, well. He's the guy behind the screen.
Uh-oh.
I never checked back there. No, he's not there.
Oh, Matt's going to do some slightly illegal graveyard manipulation there.
Kinda.
Well, we still have Friday Night Magic as Legacy
yes.
here. So, here's that Hex Mage. And
okay.
Matt says he kind of shows the needle as if that's what he had named.
Yeah, maybe he named Hex Mage.
Or maybe that was a frustration.
Oh, okay.
Whoops. I did that wrong.
He hadn't seen the Hex Mage out of Alton in the first 2 games, I don't think.
Did he just draw the... It looks like he did. The Edict.
Oh, he drew an Edict. Yeah, Captain QCM, same. Like, Canadian Highlander at FNM, like, what? Over Legacy?
Okay,
I don't...
so he didn't just activate the Hex Mage there, so maybe that is what Matt...
Yeah, maybe he blind... It's just like blind on the Hex Mage. He knows what he's playing.
It's either Stage or Hex Mage, right? That's fantastic. All right, Jesse, give us a rundown of what Canadian Highlander is. How it's different than... It's 100 card, right? Singleton?
Yeah, or Highlander? Oh, EDH 1v1?
But it's different than Paris Rules 1v1, right?
Yeah, it is different.
Than French Commander?
Yeah, I think you play with 30 life. I've seen a lot of people playing it, but it's I agree with you, Jesse. I don't think it's the greatest. I think I'd rather play Legacy. Could be interesting for a minute. That sounds like a format I'd play for like 2 weeks and then be done.
Oh, okay. So this is very different. It's the point value system.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Where there's a select few cards that have really high...
I have heard about this. I didn't know that there was like a specific name to it. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that does sound super interesting.
And it allows people to play with some of their old cards.
Right.
In that format that isn't vintage.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's nice when you can play your cards, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It keeps the format from being a bunch of turn one combos in that some of the tutor effects are probably pointed, right? All right, we've got Shardless Agent into Harpy.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, you know what? So I actually just realized something because I was looking at game 2 when Alton had a Leyline in play, and I was going, why would you board in Leyline against Matt? That seems odd. I bet you anything he boarded in Leylines with Helm of Obedience.
Ah, as a backup, sure.
Yeah, I think so.
As Plan C or Plan D.
Yeah.
EDH is boring. Yeah. There's quite a few players that probably would disagree with you, but often I kind of agree. I like the concept of Commander quite a bit, but sometimes I'll sit and watch a game for a little while, and it just drags on as 3 players are sitting there watching one player do things.
All right, I'll give my 2 cents on EDH. This is how it goes. Every player gets mad at the player who plays combos, okay? They get super angry with them. And then... here I am, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to play an interactive control deck. You know, I'm going to play Grixis control. That sounds fun to me. So what do? I build this really efficient EDH to play, and then I start interacting with these linear strategies.
Yeah.
And everybody gets pissed off at me.
Because
I'm stopping them from their linear strategies,
You're not supposed to stop people.
Which I look at and I'm like, so wait a minute. So the point of EDH is everybody to just play solitaire decks.
Yeah.
And nobody actually interacts. You just play solitaire and sit there until somebody goes off and then the game ends.
Uh-huh. That's what's fun, right? Turn 500.
And so I've been super confused about EDH after a couple games playing. Yeah, see, I've actually enjoyed a couple of these EDH games because I get to interact so much. It's fantastic, but everybody hates me, and I have like no win con in my deck. Like I just police people, and then they get mad and kill me, and I'm like, I wasn't gonna kill you. Like
right.
I wasn't threatening your life in any way, shape, or form.
So the trick to Commander, though, is finding a group of people that are fun to play with. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you have a group of people that are fun to play with, I found quite enjoyable for Commander is there's somebody here who has built 4+ Commander decks, and they're all pretty evenly balanced.
Okay.
So if I sit down and play with him, I play one of his decks.
Yeah.
And if everybody at the table plays one of his decks, it's a good time.
Cool.
Because nobody is being that silly one combo player or trying to do something that just hates on everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's ways to enjoy it. All right, Matt found to learn. And
we're
he
going
has Harpy. He has Cavern Harpy, but he doesn't have... So he can keep drawing cards for a little while as long as his life is high enough, right? Ultra Prison. Alright, so he replays Shardless Agent finds a Brainstorm. Yeah. And that's how Commander goes, is you get people, teaming up, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's losing 2
I can
life
see
every
that
time
point,
he does
Jesse.
this, doesn't he? That Cavern Harpy is I'm thinking.
It's just 1 life, I believe. We can pull it up.
1 life.
Yeah, pay 1 life, and you can return Cavern Harpy to its owner's hand. Yeah, Matt and his sorting skills are not the finest.
There's just a pile of creatures, right? I mean, it's not like he doesn't know he's on stream, you know, that there's a camera right above him, and I know.
We can kind of see what's in play. All right, so he whiffs.
Everybody's having a good time.
Now that's what's so interesting, Captain QC, is like Magic has really done a lot in the last couple of years to push towards multiplayer formats. But I agree with you, like it's just not the best multiplayer game. All right, so Matt takes this down on a lucky Pithing Needle on Hexmage.
Well,
You got the right one?
I mean, if you knew you were against Reanimator Depths, that's probably what I would name too.
Hexmage?
Yeah.
You think that over Thespian Stage?
It's a lot quicker in Reanimator Depths as opposed to lands where
Right.
they can get out Thespian Stage combo much faster, right?
Yeah.
That was not somewhat organized.
No.
Swarming.
Not quite.
I quite agree with you there.
All right, so that's gonna do it. We had 2 Reanimator-esque decks. Eat the dust.
Jay says multiplayer is fun. So
It sure can be.
I mean, that's what's great about Magic, right?
Mhm.
Is it's diversified so much that there are all these different formats, and your group can find something that you guys like to play.
Transitions.
Yeah. There we are.
Yep. Found us.
Okay, so other than the card that was
Iconic.
announced loudly,
Oh, Flusterstorm.
Flusterstorm. Sorry, guys.
Flusterstorm.
What else changes in Legacy?
What changes in Legacy? Not a ton.
Okay, so here's one thing. This is kind of fascinating.
Okay.
It doesn't affect Legacy as much as Modern. With the printing of Iconic Masters, they're going to change the way Blood Moon works. So currently, if you play a Shockland and there's a Blood Moon out, it comes into play tapped.
Yes.
With the printing of Iconic Masters, they're changing that rule. If you have a Magus of the Moon or a Blood Moon out, it no longer comes into play tapped. This is how that affects Legacy. It's a big deal. Dark Depths doesn't come in with any counters. So there is going to be a new Legacy deck. Mono red Dark Depths. You'll be able to play Blood Moon or Magus of the Moon. Put down a Dark Depths in play. Comes in with no counters. You kill your enchantment or your creature, and there's a red card that lets each player sacrifice a permanent.
Right.
You immediately get a 20/20 indestructible. And whoa, that's a thing. The new moon rule also affects humility. Yeah, because the creatures are just 1/1s. They don't have any. So yeah, and I haven't explored how that would be in Legacy, how humility. But I wouldn't be surprised if this Dark Depths mono red Dark Depths deck is pretty strong. Because getting a Blood Moon out in Legacy is usually pretty good anyway.
Yes.
Right, and it can shut down.
It shuts down a lot of decks.
And if you can go early, and if you're playing Simeon Spirit Guide and maybe
Chromox.
or the Elvish, the
Elvish Spirit Guide.
Elvish Spirit
Yeah,
Guide, you're able
Fast
to,
mana.
Yeah, really quickly. And I wonder if that was even a consideration. Revoker won't be able to name on entering.
Yeah, a lot of cards name things on entering.
Yeah.
Iona doesn't.
If there's a humility out,
Yeah.
as opposed to a Blood Moon. Yeah, it's a thing.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that is relevant, Captain QC.
Cavern of Souls
Cavern
will no
of
longer
Souls.
be able to name things
Mhm.
if there's a Blood Moon out. So it makes Blood Moon significantly stronger in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. and it was already a really good card.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, for this deck, if you're playing for fast mana, yeah. And I've already seen some lists that people have really quickly thrown together because it's not hard, right? You've got Dark Depths, you've got Blood Moons, and you've got this this red card that I don't remember what it's called. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Both players sacrifice a permanent.
Yeah, and the reprinting of Grove and Horizon Canopy, huge. Probably more for Modern than Legacy, but either way, that's probably the other big effect on Legacy, is that lands players and Punishing Jund players get their Groves a little cheaper. Horizon Canopies are in a million decks, Modern and Legacy, and people have been begging for that reprint for a while, so we're getting it. I'll probably try to pick up some before they go back up in like 2 years. Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you're using Blood Moon against lands, it's worse. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're putting it in the deck, obviously, it's a stronger card in general. I don't remember where it went.
If lands destroys your Blood Moon, you're probably losing anyway. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Sometimes it pulls up right away. Let's see where else I can find it.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm not sure that Ixalan has any cards that are going to see any chance of even attempting to be Legacy playable.
No, I don't think so. I think Ixalan will add some fun to Standard, which I don't think we've seen. You know, Standard is like really, really odd at the moment, so.
Crack the Earth, the card is called. And it's interesting because it's an arcane card. We can. There we go. There we go. So if you guys want some foils, pick up some foil. Crack the Earth. This might become a Legacy card in this mono
very
red
well,
Dark Depths deck.
If this is a real deck, then yeah, it absolutely will. This is a. And they have to sacrifice a permanent too.
Yeah.
It's not just it's helping you and it's hurting them.
Right.
You can always cast it early if they get off to a good start.
Right. There's a couple decks where this could be pretty strong, even if you're not sacking your own Blood Moon through.
Right.
Right. It's not irrelevant.
I mean, I could see somebody like playing land and.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, that is an interesting point, Jesse. I like Opt. I mean, I've heard a lot of different opinions through the store as or since it's been released that it's going to be a card, and I think it's going to be good in Modern. I do. I like Serum Visions a lot. It's not the best thing that we could have, but instant speed is so huge in comparison to sorcery that I do expect Opt to see a sizable amount of play.
Yeah, I mean it's a decent cantrip.
Yeah, cantrip at instant speed is huge. Think twice at 2 mana, still sees a little bit of play, and it's 2 mana just to draw a card. It's not very good. Whereas Opt, it replaces itself immediately and it digs a card. So I imagine the decks that want to dig further into their deck will still continue to play Serum Visions, but otherwise Opt seems great.
Alright, so we've got either Lands versus Olern, our 2 winners from our previous round that we saw, or we have Josh playing Miracles, and man, is he on a spicy Miracles deck.
This is the match I want to watch.
Alright, we're going to switch over.
And I'm pretty sure TJ's going to be on some kind of Soul Tie /4 color control. That's what I've seen him on before.
Alright, we're going to go round 2. Okay, so...
Preordaine's still better. Yeah, we're talking... Alright, okay. Yeah, we'll stop talking about Modern. I apologize.
Josh now is on a deck... What is the card that's replaced Top? It's...
Soothsaying.
Yeah, we saw some of this last Tuesday.
Yes,
right?
he beat me in the last round on Friday with Soothsaying. It was
And
horrible.
sometimes, in certain situations, Soothsaying is just straight up better than Sensei's Top.
In some cases, this is a deck that likes to leave their mana wide open. And sometimes you can just go, okay, end of turn, tap 7 mana, rearrange the top 7 cards in my library.
Let's, we'll find this card for you guys here.
Yeah.
See, how do I get this here easily?
Can you actually just drag it over to...
Maybe?
Down the bottom? Nope. Do media source. Add existing.
No, it's a capture, isn't it?
Is it?
Sorry, guys. Little technical work here. Ooh. I'm not sure. We'll try and get that in between rounds.
Yeah.
We can't quite pull up the card for you on this
Well,
screen.
I'll explain it. Soothsaying is 1 blue mana for an enchantment. You can pay X to rearrange, or look at the top. Here's the exact wording. X. Look at the top X cards of your library and put them back in any order. And then you can pay 3 blue to shuffle your library. So this is taking the role of Sensei's Dividing Top in a Miracles deck.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as good, not as consistent, but he's been playing Counterbalance.
Yeah.
He's been playing Soothsaying.
And it lets you do it again, right?
Mhm.
You didn't used to be able to do it, now you can. Alright, I kind of made it happen here. There we go. There's the card. You guys might remember this thing. Oh, I moved that, didn't I? I wonder if it's so small.
Fixing it.
Sorry, here we go. This thing I remember this card from way back when, from Mercadian Mask.
Okay.
And what makes this work is it costs 1 mana again,
Yes.
right? If this cost 2 or 3, there's no way. I just don't think it would make sense. But what Josh said is sometimes you play Soothsaying turn 1, and they go, Force of Will. And he's like, okay, I just 2-for-1'd you.
Yeah.
I don't need that card. I didn't need it before it went in this deck. And great. I think there's 3 of them in here, and 2 counterbalance. Or maybe it's
It might be reversed.
Maybe switched.
2 Soothsaying, 3 Counterbalance.
And then a full set of Terminus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the reason it is 3 Counterbalance is a lot of times you just have enough advantage off of being able to brainstorm and being able to portent that you'll be just fine.
All right, let's see if we can figure out what TJ is on here. Yeah, so you can do the same thing with Scroll Rack, and it costs 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Death Right. So we're definitely on a one of those builds, except he started with Basic Swamp. If he's 4 color, do you think he has a Basic Swamp in it? Ah, right.
Play in Tax Rack.
That Death Right Shaman is going to sword stimulated. Let me fix that screen, guys. Sorry. There we go.
Make it even bigger. There we go. Okay.
Oh, first swords, second swords. Okay. One
Done.
sword's got Force of Will, the other one did not.
All right.
Josh really didn't want to see that Death Right Shaman.
No.
And TJ goes up some life, even though he didn't actually change his life totally.
All right, and we got a Wasteland. So I imagine this isn't a 4-color deck, just based on the fact that he played a Wasteland. But wow, yeah, no Death Right Shamans.
Whoa, we're going full on Force of Will battle over this second one. Okay, so this makes sense here. TJ might obviously not have another land.
Yes.
So he really needs this Deathrite Shaman out here. And
and Josh doesn't have another land.
So this first game is coming down to mana resources for sure.
Which Josh probably has more cards to get back into this game than TJ does.
Okay, so he's going to put Terminus back. He does have a fetch land that he just found.
Okay.
So it makes the timing of using the fetch land a little weird if he's wanting to... Okay, he's just going to do it.
Yep, just get rid of a couple cards.
I thought he maybe would try and Terminus away that Deathrite.
Yeah, so this
is doable.
This is so interesting. He knows TJ is on Wastelands, but
he's just got the other sword, so he doesn't need to use the Terminus.
Okay.
So we've had some battling going on over these Deathrite Shamans is what we've been having. All right, okay, so TJ did lose life to Force of Wills, and he's back at 20, so his total's correct.
All right, he found an Underground Sea, and now we'll just resolve Counterbalance. We're going to have some blind flip action over here. Yes, definitely Sultai something.
Look at that unlimited Bayou right there. Ooh. Lethal does not get countered. Flooded Strand does not have the same converted mana cost as Lethal.
Nope. And look, the fourth swords.
So obviously Josh has 500 Swords to Plowshares in his deck.
Mm.
All right, let's call this deck Sultai Control. Which really should be Bug Control. I still like the old terminology for Legacy, but we'll stick with what's current here. So TJ got to gain some life, draw a card, which netted him a 4th land. And if Josh can find Soothsaying, that counterbalance gets slightly better.
Yeah.
TJ is on the exiling his deck strategy at the moment. Between Force of Will and Swords to Plowshares, he's used up some of his cards.
The TJ doesn't have a lot left.
That's a True Name Nemesis.
That is a True Name Nemesis.
Okay, Josh is going to shuffle.
Yeah, he wants to find Terminus for this. There's not any other answer.
Is there a 3-drop in his deck that counters this?
Yes, he has Monasteries.
Yeah, Mentors. So he puts a Mentor on top, and he wins.
I imagine so, because it would counter this, then he would draw it, and it'd be bad for TJ.
Yeah, Polluted Delta is not a Monastery Mentor.
Not quite, no. He is going to get to predict this. Predict. Delta. Draw 2.
He sees Counterspell and Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, I believe there is a one of Council's Judgment in this list. It comes in and out depending on the type of Miracles build. We've seen quite a few different Miracles builds from Josh, and I think there is a Council's Judgment in this main deck. But I'm not sure if there's more than one.
Yeah, the unexpectedly absent versions don't tend to play them, but I imagine that this version does. Oh! Blind flip Jace counters Jace.
Yeah, just like he drew it up.
Yeah. I mean, he had a counter spell.
Yeah, it was going either way.
Yeah.
Josh shows us that counter spell. I don't think he showed TJ that counter spell.
And he is going to predict away the Jace.
When 2 cards is better than a Jace.
Yeah. He needs to find land.
Yeah, he found an island there.
Okay. So we've got an island, and we're going to try to brainstorm and find a Terminus. Or a Council's Judgment, of course. We found none of those things.
Yeah. There's a fetch land now, so he can shuffle away some cards. Ones he doesn't want. Apparently he doesn't like Force of Will right now.
Yeah, I don't love it either. It's kind of this mindset where it's like, let TJ continue to commit to the board. We're gonna find Terminus eventually.
You already countered the Jace.
We have a counter spell. That's all we really need to be up at the moment.
Yeah, he just tapped his mana in a way that you wouldn't be able to cast it.
He hasn't. Or oh yeah, he did play his land.
Yeah, he played a fetch. Ponder is gonna shuffle. Hopefully, he doesn't find Terminus right here. But I guess he wouldn't care. He's got a brainstorm.
Yeah.
Force of Wills. Those cards that he shovels away. You get it back. It's laughing at him right now.
It's not like the worst card he has, but not fantastic.
All right, so right now Josh is on a 4-turn clock, a 4-turn True Name Nemesis clock, and that's a Thoughtseize, a foil Thoughtseize.
Yeah, that's worth a pretty penny.
I wonder if it'll change value.
I imagine it will.
As there are going to be the same art, same Iconic
art.
Masters.
I will be picking me up a pretty one.
Oh,
I will.
You wouldn't mind yourself a Iconic one over?
Some people know that I like my cards to mismatch, and I do not have that art for my Gen deck. So yeah, I need one. And the Lorwyn ones are so, or the Morningtide ones or whatever, they're so expensive.
Okay, so Josh brainstormed in response, and then just let the counterbalance trigger go. And he said, "Which one do you want?" I've got a Snapcaster, Counterspell, or Force Spell. You prefer the Theros art? That's okay. Some people like weird things. I mean, I'm not gonna.
You're probably not alone, but I will say you are an outlier.
There's one other person, probably.
There may be one.
The artist of the Theros.
Oh yeah, the artist.
He probably prefers his.
He's like, no, my art's better. It's good to know I have a fan. All right, it goes down to 9. He's got a couple more turns to find a terminus. He will be able to see a lot of cards. Yeah, with Snapcaster.
Yeah, I think I would have taken. Ooh, are we gonna snap back Thoughtseize? I think I would have taken the Snapcaster Mage myself. Rich does as well. Okay, there's another person that likes the Theros art.
That's what we said. There might be one more person.
Yeah.
We said that.
Yeah.
We found him.
Oh, look! I got a Council Judgment. There it is.
Found it. All right, so he gets to hold up Counterspell, or he could just ambush Viper.
Did he get to keep his Snapcaster?
Yeah, he has a Snapcaster.
Wow. Okay.
He shows them. Yeah, these are the cards I still have. You know about them. All right, he took the damage before he attacked. Yeah, you guys found each other.
The foil version of the Theros one is pretty cool.
It is very pretty.
But I'm not going to say it's better than.
I own a signed one. I like them. Let's get them better.
So Josh has gone through like 900 cards of his deck, right?
Yes.
And so it makes sense that eventually he found Council's Judgment and Ministry Mentor, because this is the first Mentor we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And now TJ has to think.
Josh only has the one card in hand, right? It's a Counterspell, correct?
I thought we said it was a Snapcaster.
Oh yeah, it is Snapcaster. Okay, and a Force of Will. That's actually relevant.
If only Rich was a hot chick. That's fabulous. I mean, okay, Jorgensen, to give him a little bit of credit, if you do have a Thoughtseize art preference, you probably enjoy playing Magic, right? So, I mean, already there's some compatibility right there, right?
Yeah.
Jace, trigger. So this game has kind of turned around just a little smidgen.
I imagined it would, with the Force of Will battle at the beginning going the way that it did. I kind of saw Josh coming out of this ahead, but it's taken him a while to figure out exactly how to deal with the True Nemesis, you know.
So this is my favorite part of the game, when Jace gets to look at the top card of your opponent library, and you get this weird, especially when there's a fetch land in play, it makes things real. So there's just fetch land, right? So now Josh gets to go, yeah, I'll leave you that. So and then it's a good card, and TJ fetches in response.
I actually talked about this subject to Josh on Friday, and I said he did that, and I had a fetch in play, and I look at him and I go, I know the right thing is to fetch, but I've seen you keep good cards on the top, and I kind of just want to draw my card. And he goes, 90% of the time they fetch. I look at them and I go, yeah, I'll fetch. I fetched and like I did look at the top card and I just went, probably not the best card. Like I actually could have gotten something better. So he's like, if you had taken it, I would have been fine, and if you had shuffled, I would have been fine. It was great either way.
I like it. I think it's all about bringing a picture of Thoughtseize with you on every. Just bring the card itself, right? One of each. And maybe do you bring the invocation as well? Is that do you really get into?
Ooh, I wish I had one of those. I think that's probably the best invocation art.
Oh yeah, it absolutely.
It is
the
gorgeous.
Art on that invocation actually works with the frame as opposed to the frame hindering it.
Yeah.
Planes does not. So far we've seen Counterbalance destroy a Jace, and that's all.
Yeah. I think that's worth a card.
Yeah. I mean, it mattered, right?
It did.
To read out the insane
ones.
Do you like this one, or this one? Because I can get up right now if you even look at this one. All right. TJ just put down one of Paragon City Games Tarmodies. Is that what we're calling them? No, Tarmohedrons?
Goyf rocks.
Of course. I was so close. These things are really fantastic. I'm sure you guys have seen us show you these before, the few of you that are actually watching us here tonight. But they're pretty awesome. They're hard, heavy.
Yeah, they're heavy. They have weight on them.
And they go all the way up to 8-9, which is great.
Which is as big as they get, I believe.
And until we decided there was something else printed.
Yeah, so it has the Die Hard Die logo, and of course our very own Paragon City logo.
We still have suits sitting there.
Wow.
Making sure this card that hasn't even we haven't even
yeah,
seen
we haven't
it
even
yet.
seen it. I
don't know. Maybe he took them out. Yeah, Counterbalance has allowed Predict to do things. That's true.
Yeah, it absolutely
has.
has.
Not nothing. Absolutely.
Yeah, he gets to see the top card of his library like at least every other turn.
It kind of cheats, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of Predict is that you're supposed to guess. When you're never guessing with the card.
Nope, never.
I've seen Josh guess correctly on a blind Predict. It does happen, guys.
Usually he names Island
yeah,
on the blind.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say it was a hard prediction.
Yeah.
Okay, so he just put a Terminus back on top of his library. Maybe he'll just float it there for now and keep it brainstorming.
Yep. So we will.
TJ gains some life.
Swords away a big Tarmogoyf.
Goes up to 20. This is game 1.
Yep.
We're still going.
That's what I love about watching the Miracles deck. Like we get to watch a lot of Magic, and it's never just like one-sided the whole way.
This has been pretty one-sided from.
Once you turn the corner.
Yeah.
This game should wrap up pretty soon.
As soon as he was able to deal with that tree name analysis. Of course, it would have been one-sided the other way had he not.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, look, another Monastery Mentor.
And a bunch of Force of Wills.
I'm gonna brainstorm.
Okay.
Just put 2 Terminus on the top.
Field of Dreams would have done the same. Okay. Digging out the card that does something. From Legends, the top card of each player's library is always face up. Why isn't that in here? Akaja Folio art, which is fabulous. I think I actually have an artist person.
This is probably like the best card I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. They cost twice as much. Except Field of Dreams right now is in some silly $70 because it's in the Legends buyout current thing that's happening. I think just 3 weeks ago this card was $30 or $20 or something like that. Even.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lantern does the same thing.
Isn't there a blue functional reprint of this card too, like Telepathy or something like that?
Telepathy lets both players play with their hands.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, Lantern of Insight, it's colorless.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the art on Field of Dreams actually quite a bit.
It is really cool.
Except
We're gonna pull it up just for fun.
There we go, with some pricing on it.
Get to see that mid price, 72.47.
Which is silly. Who pays that?
For a card like this?
That's ridiculous.
It's also not... Yeah. Enchant World.
That doesn't boost Tarmogoyf, sadly.
No.
But it does affect everybody else at the table, right? Isn't that how that works?
Yep.
Hey, I'm gonna smash for a bunch. Attack! There's some pointing going on. Some pointing over there. Point at my own card. Some pointing on the other side of the table. This is the pointing phase of the game.
Where we decide how this one's this big, this one's this big.
All right. Game 1 goes to Josh. It's a miracle. Or a miracles.
He never even cast a miracle.
No. But he did blind flip a
Jace on Jace.
Yeah. Okay, so here's pointing his bad manners. Oh my goodness. Here's the board state. If you guys got to see us, Matt likes to have his cards in a very organized manner. This is what it looks like. Those are in play, I think.
So I don't know about you guys, but I know exactly what's going on.
Hey, they both pointed. It's not just Josh. Matt's at 7 life. I can see that very clearly. Paul's at 20. And
things are happening.
Goodness.
I can't actually see the Alurin.
There might be one in play.
But it looks like there is one in play.
Yeah, there's one buried under some harpies.
Cluster fluff.
Maybe he's decideboarding. No,
he's deck building right now.
I think that's
what they're saying.
This is mid-game here.
He can't find the 60th card to save.
He passes the turn with
a board state.
Oh, Matt. Paul finds a tabernacle. That's a thing. Matt is going to have to clean up his board a little bit.
Oh, thank goodness.
I've never wanted to see that land so much in my life.
Look, guys, an Alurin's on the board. Oh, there's the Sylvan Library. Did you guys see the Sylvan Library? I didn't see it. And a Pithing Needle.
Oh, my
Pithing.
goodness. I don't know if this is game 1 or 2. I assume it's not game 1, but I don't think he has. He didn't have enough to win. I don't think he had a Harpy.
No, he had Harpy.
But he was going down so much in life and he never found it? Is that what happened?
It's possible that Paul just has Punishing Fire, and if he goes lower, he just gets Punishing Fired and dies.
Yeah. So he does need to find the piece to actually win the game, right?
Yeah.
But he was running out of land.
He does not play Recruiters. This is the Sultai version, from what I've seen.
Wow. I mean, if we had jumped in right here. So he pays.
Yeah, Glint Nescrane. Mm-hmm.
He pays the Tabernacle upkeep on the Strix and a Shardless Agent. Loses everything else. There's a Harpy. And a Cabal Therapy. He doesn't want to even play it. Another Harpy. Yeah, so that's why he went from 6 down to 4 life.
Right.
He's going to draw a card off Strix. Shardless Agent. We're going to have a response there, getting rid of a land, so he could float a mana here if he wanted to.
So the force had come off the top. He may have been going a little too fast.
Oh, yeah. He just dropped it down and didn't give Paul a chance to respond. So
yeah. So the 4 should still be on top of his deck. He's responding to both the creature and the Cascade trigger.
So yeah, it gives him a little bit of information, right? He's able to go shuffle it.
Yep, so he'll go grab a basic. He has a mana floating.
And in the meantime, I'm going to make sure our other game hasn't started. Not quite yet. There's some finished sideboarding going on, looks like. Alright, here's the Cascade. It's going to get
another Cabal Therapy. Okay.
Not really what he wants.
It's kind of an interesting card to keep in against a lands deck.
Yeah.
I don't think that's usually something you want. They're either hellbent or they only have land in hand, right? Okay.
Cascading. Oh, he did the Strix this time to draw a card.
Okay. I'm gonna brainstorm. We dig, we dig, we dig.
Goodness. Maybe there's no more Strixes in his deck. Maybe he sent them out. The parasitic one, not the...
The parasitic. Just board out your combo, like your win con.
An Abrupt Decay! He's like, this exploration right here? This one that's not doing anything at all? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's gone.
Yep, he forgot he had mana floating. Sounds about right.
Probably not too relevant with the Lauren on the board, but I don't know.
we successfully got right back into that same mess.
Yeah.
That
I love it. He even casts his brainstorm and puts it in the pile too.
It just drops right into the permanent pile.
And Paul has to like take the brainstorm out of the pile and like put it in his graveyard. Like, hey, that doesn't belong in there. This card isn't a permanent.
Paul draws a card and says, "Go."
All right, down to 2. Down to 1.
Can't he just pay for most of his creatures here? He's leaving 2 mana open. For what?
I'm not sure.
In case he sees a
Alright, so we got a Sylvan Library. Trigger.
Okay, so our other match that we're going to switch back to here is getting shuffled up.
Yeah.
They spent just a little longer than normal on mulliganing. The Harpies that he doesn't pay for, Tabernacle of the Pendulum Metal, gives them an upkeep.
Yeah, they get destroyed if he doesn't pay 1.
Interesting. Whoa.
Good. Okay. I had this happen too. I can fix it. And there is Tabernacle. It's a little spendy.
Yeah, this is a inexpensive card. It has no converted mana cost. It's a land, right?
Right.
You can find them in pretty decent shape for right around $1,000.
Mm-hmm. Just $1,000.
Yeah, but you only need 1. So it's like getting a playset of Underground Seas, right? Or Underground Seas in beat up shape.
Yeah, but Underground Seas you can play in lots of decks.
You can put this in any deck you want. It's a land. It can go anywhere. You can put it in Burn, Storm.
I hate to admit when I'm wrong, but I'm clearly wrong.
He couldn't pay for everything, and he couldn't return them all. That's why he kept 2 Harpies. He returned 2 Harpies. He had several.
Yeah.
Where you can play Tabernacles in 2s of decks?
I have seen people play 2.
In lands?
One main, one side.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that as well. For those people that have two.
I don't know what I would say to that person. Just like, you must really love that deck.
He may have easily got them when they were not $1,000. They did not. They used to not be very expensive at all. So we're gonna switch to our other match.
Yeah, because looks like Matt took it.
He confused him to death.
He confused him to death.
Okay, this one makes a little bit more sense, guys.
Pox players do hate money. It's like not ever a great deck, but the deck just has tons of expensive cards in it.
You remember Tabernacles being $250? I remember them back when they were.
I do as well.
Significantly less than that as well. I guess I've been playing forever then.
Yeah. I've had the same conversation with people about chains.
Yeah.
Of Mephistopheles, because you get the second Tabernacle and you're like, whoa, that player is a devoted lands player, and then you get the people who is like playing Punishing Jund, which it's not like a huge deck. I mean, I play it, but it's not a popular deck. So when you see people have chains of Mephistopheles, you're like, whoa, that person really likes their deck.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
Yeah, Tabernacle was not a card that nobody wanted it. Nobody played it. Even in Legacy. I wanted one just because I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I like the art. I like the card. I never ended up getting one, which I regret.
I really like the lands deck too. If I ever come into some money, then maybe I'll consider it. I mean, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Not just $1,000.
That's the first go-to. Well, I got all this money. Might as well buy lands.
If I got gifted $1,000, I don't think I'd go buy Magic cards with it.
Or card.
I don't think I'd go buy Magic card. I think I'd probably handle it a little more responsibly. You wanted one for Commander? Oh my goodness. You see, you're a devoted Commander player at that point. Like, oh man. I have seen some people with gorgeous Commander decks, and I don't understand. I mean, respect, you have some cool cards, but...
Yep, I don't think you'd
In-store credit?
Yeah.
Probably still no.
There'd be a few other things you'd probably go for.
Absolutely. I'd probably pretty close to finish out my cube. Tabernacle would not be a card that I would think about.
Alright, TJ is pondering.
Not only that, but Tabernacle's got to be a hard card to move, right? Like, once you have one and you've decided, okay, I'd like to sell my Tabernacle, you can't even tell me that card's going to be easy to sell.
Not unless you go to a high-end type of internet source.
Right, and they're not... Yeah, and even then, if you try to sell it to a store, you're not going to get near the amount of money you would want out of it. just get like a ton. Just trade it into a store for tons of store credit and just never pay for a tournament again.
Yeah,
I already do that, and that's just off of store credit that I get from doing well in tournaments.
Oh, it's like that.
Hold on.
Bringing it up again. Bringing up the fact that last time Kyron and I played, one of us lost, one of us won.
You lost.
Right. I made a few mistakes.
Listen, I've had a lucky break against you, Bryce. I even beat him in Cube on Sunday.
Oh, that was not fun, man. I had a pretty cool deck.
Yeah, you had a great deck.
It did things, and then I played you and just did nothing.
And what's so funny about that Cube event is I looked at my draft and I went, this is not a great deck. And then I go like, beat Bryce, barely beat my friend Trace in the second round, and then I beat Corey and Josh, and I was like, what is up with this deck? It wasn't great, but I did okay. Perks of owning the cube, I guess.
Yeah, I drafted a card. I started with Monastery Mentor.
Okay.
Pick one. And then ended up going more towards like a white weenie deck, which your cube allows for really nicely, right?
Yeah, it
But then I saw balance. And balance is so strong. I tried to make it work.
Jorgensen, we were going to. We actually, for a minute, I thought that we had 17 people to cube, which obviously once I have any person over 16, somebody has to sit it out. If anybody's going to sit it out, it's going to be me, right? And we actually got the stream set up, and then a person decided or texted me and said that they weren't coming, so we had exactly 16. So I just jumped in. But since we're on this note for a second, I have been talking to Brian today. He actually approached me and said, I want to do a weekly or a bi-monthly Saturday cube with an actual entry fee.
Yeah.
You know, a competitive cube tournament on Saturdays. And I looked at him and I was just like, duh. Like, what? I don't know why I'm hearing about this now. Yeah, let's do it. So Jorgensen, I will keep you posted on that. I will say, though, we had a full 16 people on Sunday. Oh, man. That's a cube.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Well,
until we started playing.
Yeah.
Until we got
in round one.
Yeah, yeah. And then it was not so much good time. No, it was still really fun.
Yeah, I will definitely let you know. I can't even express how much I want to stream.
See, so now here's what's going to happen. He's going to set up a stream, and Kyer's going to have all of these decks and all these packs set up, and he's going to pretend to draft his cube, streaming it. He's going to pick a card, make a deck, pass it around to imaginary people. It'll look like there's all these people playing cube.
That'll just be me. Me and like one other person
I said
has
I
to
was
play
going to
against
do
me.
it.
Oh, man.
Who subscribed to us and made you play upside down and backwards? And
That was still sorry.
he's not here today.
No, he's not.
Did you go in and chat with him? Was he watching?
Yeah, he was. He did get to see round one. I actually ended up winning my first round with that deck in an awesome fashion. I stabilized in game 2 at 1 life and just had Grave Pact and a Hidden Stockpile just going crazy.
Because you were playing the Goblin Bombardment.
Yeah, I was
right.
Yeah, the Bombardment. And ended up losing to lands round 2, and then I lost to Josh's Miracles deck in round 3. It was very narrow, and I actually think that I threw the game. The deck is very, very difficult to play. Like, it's really hard to pilot.
Yeah, it's not clear. Sometimes it's really
I made many mistakes. And on camera, I think I made, like, 2 Bloodghast mistakes. And like, after I made the mistake, I just go, oh, yep, that happened. Great.
All right, so Josh has successfully dealt with Leovold, and I think you're right. Council's Judgment exiles.
Unapologetically? No, I was sorry. I can't do something unapologetically when I'm legitimately sorry. I look at my opponent and I'm like, nope, this is how it's got to be. And the guy goes, he even took one of my cards and like turned it right side up, and then I like turned it back and he goes, well, I tried. And I'm like, this is how it's gonna be. Sorry.
We know
immediately.
I know every time.
Exactly.
Jace versus Jace battle. This one does not get counterbalanced away.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a fun stipulation, though. Like, I had legitimately never played a game like that, so I don't think I made mistakes because of it.
You just felt weird the whole time?
I noticed, and I said this, they pulled me in after I think my second match and talked to me about the deck a little bit, but I mentioned that the way that I pick up my cards is very specific, and I didn't really realize it was specific until I started playing with all my cards upside down. Where I pick up the cards is not convenient when they're upside down. And so every time I would like go to pick up a card, I had to like turn it around in my hand because of the way that I'm used to picking it up.
Sure.
Yeah, 15 seconds later because of Twitch delay.
Council's Judgment takes care of Jace. Also should have been exiled. If that ever is a thing, I'll run out and make him exiled. If he tries to like death right his Leo for 2 life, or if he snuck a reanimate into his deck or something weird. Oh, it matters. Just like that.
So he's going to correct that real quick.
And your...
Yeah, so the Leovold was Swords, and the Jace was...
I think Leovold was Council's Judgment as well.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, I got snapped back.
For the second one.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it'll matter. Proceed to play Goyf right then. It matters.
It's not really a may. You can't choose to put it in your graveyard and miss a trigger or something like that. It has to happen. So we try and keep the
game state as orderly as we can.
As it should have been.
Yeah.
All right. We've got Jace brainstorming. Is that what? Oh, here's a counterbalance. So unfortunately, we can't quite see the Goyf rocks. The cool metal die.
No, Brian said that he did want to have one made that's a little bigger and we can actually see it. I do happen to know though. I've watched a couple streams from my big screen in my house, and you actually can see the Goyf rock. On our screen, we cannot see the Goyf rock at all.
We're squinting.
Yeah, we're like, it's how big? I don't know. Maybe some of you can see it. It's not really meant for stream display. It's meant to fiddle with in your hand while you're casting. Actually, that's the actual number 2 use for it.
to fiddle with them all.
Yep.
Well,
number 1,
they're pretty fantastic.
To keep track of your Goyf.
Yep.
Number 2, to sit here and spin it in your hand.
I saw that Paragon City Games website has all of their board games online. The ones in stock, they have them actually listed in stock, so you can order them.
Yeah, so we're trying to keep up with our website a little more.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So if there's a board game you need, that they have some here in stock that are hard to find and hard to get. Often those ones go quickly though. Somebody comes in here and grabs them really fast. Brian
is like never in our store. He like leaves every week to go somewhere else, and he always comes back with really unique products.
Yeah, and hard to buy board games.
Mm-hmm. So we do have a lot of things that are hard to find elsewhere.
That's really a bad segue, but the Goyf rocks, I'm not sure if they're on the website yet, but I know the board games are.
Yeah.
And if you guys really wanted to order one of these, because they are pretty cool, if you're on our stream, we can figure that out and we can get you one.
Absolutely.
If you want to message us or
they're
email.
It's $9.
Yeah.
I bought. They came out and I was like, "Yep, I'll buy mine now."
Right. We can make sure that they send you one.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got some soothsaying. And soothsaying first, we get to rearrange the top 6 cards of my library. Is there something cost 2 in here?
I don't think he found a 2-drop.
Is that a counterbalance on top? I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's going to get countered.
Okay, yeah.
Counterbalance. And having 2 counterbalances out, okay. It's not quite the same
doesn't
as...
do anything.
No. Not quite the same with...
Nope, he'll fetch it away.
So, okay. One player has a Jace, a counterbalance, and a soothsaying, and a 2-1. The other player has 4 lands. If we had an advantage bar, I think it would be slightly... It goes this way. Slightly in Josh's favor.
Definitely.
This is riveting magic right here. These moments where we're patiently waiting for the Miracles player to end the game.
This is what's so funny about these decks is every time I'm playing one of them, I always go, my opponent's like, I'm so dead, and I look at them and I go, oh, it's gonna take me a long time to kill you. Like, I mean, you can concede if you want, but like, you will live another 10 turns minimum.
And I'm gonna counter everything you play.
You're not gonna do much in that time.
Do you want the swords, the brainstorm, or the predict?
He takes swords.
So, but Josh, what's amazing though is Josh right here. He can. TJ says go, and I say okay. I'm going to look at the top, however many cards I want, and find a mentor. And have one next turn, even though he just shuffled 2 of them away, and they're still within the top. What does he have? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lands that he can go search for here.
I am pretty sure that he does not care about the cards in his hand, and all he wants to do is just soothsaying with all of his mana at the end of this turn, and just set up to find some Monastery Mentors. Yep, we're gonna soothsaying for 7. Okay.
He's gonna counter the Ponder. Flusterstorm. He's gonna
predict.
Predict it away.
Was that mentor?
Goodness.
All right, mentor.
Totally fair. I'm going to look at the top billion cards in my library, set it up with a card I want to get rid of with Predict, and 2 Monastery Mentors on top of that.
Look, I found this one. And I'm going to play the special land, and I'm going to brainstorm.
Ooh, he doesn't put out the other Mentor. Interesting.
I mean, 1 mentor is absolutely enough to win.
Yeah. But he could have played them both. He would have won faster.
Yeah, but he wants the soothsaying for more. Sounds fair to me. I don't think Miracles is exactly an unfair strategy. It's about as fair as they come, really. You cast something, I counter it.
Not when there's a counterbalance out.
Whatever counterbalance says, I might counter that.
I have a chance of very certainly countering it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with soothsaying, then it's like, okay, I'm definitely going to counter this. Hold on, let me actually rearrange all my cards, though.
And let me, just set up the rest of my turns as well.
You can have that.
It's not a damnation.
No, I'm going to guess land.
It's not a pernicious deed.
Oh, look, wasteland. Yeah, the soothsaying has been pretty sweet. I think the thing that makes me so happy about soothsaying is they're like gathering around this like mystical aura of a top. So there actually is like a spinning top on the art. Like it's still just
Sensei's top.
Yep, it's just a Sensei's top. It's just a glittery one that you can kind of see through.
Yeah. Let's see if I can fix that. Cutting off the top there. Ooh, Toxic Deluge. That's a card.
Yep, he'll probably. He can counter this, but I kind of don't think he will. Okay. Yeah, it is much weaker than top. Absolutely.
Right. But in certain situations, it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it has some different playability, but agreed, it's nowhere near as good.
And the fact that right here he can't sit there and abuse top with Mentor if there's 2 tops, right? That was silly. What you could do.
And the way that the deck is built really shows that it's not as strong as well. Because before we'd have 4 top, 4 counterbalance. We're gonna try to find that. We're gonna lock our opponent out, right? This one plays 2 soothsaying, 3 counterbalance.
All right, so he's successfully able to counter Toxic Deluge with a Monastery Mentor, and he's going to win the next turn.
All right, Josh takes it down in 2.
And in our other match,
nothing's going on.
Nothing. It's over.
I think we watched that one wrap up, didn't we? I think we saw Alurin winning game 2. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Well, I say that we bring up some Iconic Masters spoilers because that's what I want to be looking at right now, and I can't think of anything better to do.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe this way. I mean, the whole thing's been spoiled.
Yeah, the whole thing's spoiled. I was really surprised too. They released a list of the cards before they released all the art. I don't think I'd ever see them do that before.
So that's because of HasCon.
Okay.
Entirely. Because you're right. They wouldn't do it that way.
I was so lazy. I saw the list and I was like, I'm not reading through a list. I like recognize cards by like art and stuff like that. So.
All right. So these are alphabetized. Rare. I don't know how they're alphabetized.
I don't think they're. We need to change it to the split that we're actually looking for, though.
Not that
bad. Yeah. That's cool art, though.
Whoa. That is cool.
They're so last week. I've seen the full art Unstable Lands. They are gorgeous.
Yeah. There's some the full art. They're John Avon lands for Unstable. They're pretty.
Oh, I think they're the best yet.
They kind of have a iPhone screen look to them. You know what?
Sure.
Which is horrible.
No.
Just saying. All right. Here's a quick. We got Channel at Mythic, which if you opened a $10 pack, that would kind of hurt. But it's cool new art, right?
Yeah.
That was only available online, right?
No, it actually was I believe a From the Vault. Yeah, there was a From the Vault with this.
Okay, so my biggest problem with this set is a problem with the set. Let's see, let's do this a little bit different so you guys can see what you're saying here. Is this set iconic?
Not nearly as iconic as I thought it was going to be.
We've got the Praetors. We've got Mana Drain. I guess and it's cool art for Mana Drain, right? We've got Archangel. Primeval Titan's iconic, I guess.
Yeah, I'm happy to see a Primeval Titan.
We have yet another Kiki-Jiki. We've got some dragons at Rare this time with new art.
Yeah, they needed to be rare, not mythic. Absolutely.
We've got our reprint of Ancestral Vision.
Okay.
The Champion is a nice reprint because it was kind of silly expensive.
I actually just saw that Bloodghast was getting reprinted. I did not know that was in the set. It's supposed to be centered around iconic creature types. And then we see Genesis Hydra at Plant Dragon? Or
it's
Plant
a Hydra.
Sorry.
Hydra's is the green.
Hydra's iconic, I guess?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's weird.
So there's the Cryptic Command, which is awesome.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I really like the austere command as well.
Some of these other cards are a little frustrating. Lord of the Pit, I would call it an iconic Magic card.
I
remember that card back from 4th edition being a thing, trying to make that happen. But is that something that you're going to try and do in draft? Is it a play around me card? I don't think so.
Probs not.
And so who wants that one? It's the From the Vault art, or not From the Vault. It's a dual deck art.
Oh, Patrick, look at you, reminding me of something we should be talking about. Sunday, our Sunday Cube actually, was our little celebration for Paragon's 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
So.
Whoa! Sorry, guys. Threw that.
Paragon is doing a ton of awesome stuff this week. For instance, tomorrow, which I am super psyched for, we have a Chaos Draft. It is free. However, we want people to bring 2 packs for their Chaos Draft. They get to pick their packs, and Paragon will supply a free conspiracy pack. So we get a free, we automatically get a free conspiracy pack, and then you bring 2 packs. I'm bringing a Marcadian Masks pack tomorrow, and an Urza's Legacy pack tomorrow. And I know some other people have some really interesting stuff.
All right. Sorry, and there's packs for sale as well.
Brian brought a ton of cool packs from wherever he was last. Speaking of Brian, we actually get to see his legendary food chain deck that we always try to avoid talking about.
Yeah, now we actually have to talk about food chain.
Oh man,
it's been a little while since we've seen a food chain.
Yeah, because Brian's been gone for so long.
Here we go. We got Brian versus Josh, food chain versus miracles,
Homelands, Fallen Empires.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting draft right there. Pull out your home or Fallen Empires. There's some actually very draftable cards in Fallen Empires.
Yeah. I just wanted two weird, like sets that don't really have a lot of synergy. So, just Marcadian Masks and Urza's Legacy,
Here it is, Jorgensen, the food chain deck itself.
Yeah, this might be the first time we've seen it on camera with Brian playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a sweet matchup. For sure, Patty.
It's, I believe, entirely foiled out, all that can be. No, those brainstorms aren't foils. So there's a few non-foils.
Yes, but this brainstorm is altered by Chris Rush. Signed by Chris Rush.
It's the Groot Storm.
He calls it Groot Storm.
Yep.
They're, I'd argue that these might actually be a little better than a foil. I don't want to know how much they're worth.
What's eatable in metal chain? Because it's food. All right.
It was being triple sleeved. Oh yeah. I remember when it was triple sleeved. It was awful. I'm glad to see that it's not.
Yeah, it changes the quality of the foil when you're looking at a foil that's triple sleeved.
Yep.
It's not the same thing.
Mm-mm. Yeah, we had an Abrupt Decay for the counterbalance, and we've got an Abrupt Decay for this Monastery Mentor. This is a good start. This is a good start reactively for Brian.
He's getting rid of he's using up a Verdant Catacombs there, the Expedition one. Finds a non-English foil Ravnica swamp.
Mm-hmm. Probably Chinese, because that's...
He can read it?
Yeah, because he can actually read it.
It says swamp. I can read it too.
Oh yeah, look at that. I need more Chinese than I thought.
Yeah. Super multilingual here.
Yeah.
Is that an attack? The death wrong.
Ah, yeah.
The death wrong shot.
Get in for
there.
one.
Yes. Walking Ballista for one.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna ping that token, get rid of it. He just traded a Walking Ballista for that one token pretty early in the game here.
Yeah, that's really surprising. Okay, we've got a Caracas and another counterbalance.
Caracas is not a nothing here, right? Emrakul is a win strategy for food chain. Having Caracas out matters.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah, and the other win con just went to the graveyard.
I'm not sure if Brian's changed his list at all. If he's just playing the one-up Ballista still.
I can't remember. I know that he had talked about get another Ballista or even two more Ballista.
But sometimes food chain just wins with Mistala Griffins attacking.
Yes.
That's a thing. I am not sure of the strategy there.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, if he has another Ballista in hand, that would make some amount of sense. We're gonna eat something. He doesn't have any good targets to exile in his own graveyard, so he'll get rid of it in Center Sorcery. Get rid of one of his own.
Okay. Fetching Polluted Delta. Most of you guys probably know those expeditions by now, but some of them on camera depending on how, if you're watching like on a phone or something, it can be a little tricky to recognize those.
Definitely. Yeah, it's the new invocations that I have a problem with. I actually feel like I know the masterpiece as well now that they've been out for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But the invocation, one gets cast and I just go, wait, what is it?
And that one's a Verdant Catacombs.
Verdant Catacombs.
Nice and shiny.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Eternal Scourge.
Eternal Scourge.
How about this card?
And he is going to try to counter this. Yep, he's got a Council of Judgment that he's going to leave on top of his deck, and this is going to counter it.
So this is I believe a one of in Brian's build.
Yes.
It's kind of Mist Hollow Griffin 5.
Mm-hmm. All good things take time.
Yeah.
I like the invocations. Some of them much more than others. I think that some of them don't quite cut it, but some of them are amazing.
You're curious about the new flip lands into cards, about the art, like the frame, and how they're going to look, or their playability, Jay? Which?
Yeah, emphasize.
Yeah, what are you curious about them?
I really like the new flip cards. I don't think I've ever been a fan of the flip cards to begin with, but I think this is like the coolest utility yet, in my personal opinion.
Like a treasure hunt and go and find the actual island, the art, the style. I think they're neat.
Yeah, I think they're really cool.
Some of them are definitely going to matter. All right, here's a Walking Ballista for 6. So 3 counters.
Yeah.
But the mana cost matters when there's a counterbalance out. He says, okay, you can have it.
Deal.
3
Big die.
Bigger die.
See, now we know it has 3 counters, but we don't know the card is anymore.
No, it's disappeared.
Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure what that is on his board.
It's a big dice is what it is.
You want to see the foil versions of the new flip cards? Yeah, agreed.
And we get a foil. What do we get a foil of that we didn't have before?
From Iconic?
Yeah, isn't there? I guess we already had a foil Flusterstorm, huh? If you got the Judge one.
Was Mana? I don't think Mana Drain was a foil.
No, there's a Judge version of it.
There was a Judge?
Yeah.
Okay.
But a foil of that art will be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would. And Joe, I haven't seen you in the chat before. Welcome.
Brian's got some lands versus Josh's Jace,
mm-hmm.
the Mind Sculptor. Going up to 6. He very kindly shows him the card for him. So this is a pretty good spot for Josh, right? He is ticking up Jace. He gets to keep Brian off of certain cards.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Joe.
Yeah, you're always welcome here, and feel free to chat with us. We're usually responding to you guys quite a lot. So if you have questions or comments, we're always happy to see them. So. And Manifer's the same way. I haven't seen you in here either. Welcome. and the lurkers come out.
All right, so we're on kind of this weird spot of the game. Things take a little longer than they should to finish up, but
yeah, this chase is going to take this game.
And counterbalance has a good shot of countering this brainstorm.
It absolutely does. Yep, there's a portent.
Since week one. Week one was back in like March.
Holy cow.
Ooh, Veteran Explorer would have been cool. Yeah, why not? Why not from the, or not from the vault, but Masters, these cards need to be available in foil.
There are a lot of cards like that. A ton of them.
And not just in foil as a Judge promo that is impossible to get, but
and they keep printing like decent cards in commander sets.
Right.
And then
there's no
foils of them. And so there's all the old cards that have that issue, and they're also printing more cards that will have that issue. Yeah, I have high hopes for M25. I think they'll do a good job with it. If I'm Wizards at this point, they should know kind of what a Masters set should be, right? Especially Modern Masters.
Minifer is not a girl, even though Captain QC said she's been here. That's awesome. Well done. It is pretty cool how the, especially the MTG Twitch community is pretty small, and so if you watch certain people, you get to know them throughout all the different streams.
QC knows all. You're a girl now. Sorry. Hope that's okay with you.
Non-foil versions of Commanders Like Their Partners. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
No, I'm sure Minifer's been in this chat a ton of times. Maybe I just haven't noticed. I don't know. It's hard to remember all the names, but I get better at it.
Okay, what's happening? Okay, some cards are getting delved away.
You mod half the legacy streams. That's awesome.
And one of the cards that just got delved away is Eternal Scourge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that matters a lot.
So he could have just cast it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure why he opted out of it.
Is that how you decide things, Captain QC? Goodness, that just changed dramatically, really quickly.
Picture your girl. Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. Yeah, East Coast, for sure. I pretty much fall asleep the exact same way. I'll just like turn on a stream and just kind of clock out.
You can see Josh right there, hopefully blind flipping a 5-cost, a Force of Will of his own to counter Brian's Force of Will.
All right, they're exiled. Now we have the Miss Hollow Griffins. For Jane, okay.
All right. Game 2.
Yeah, so Brian really didn't get anything going there. A lot of lands from him.
Our backup match is...
we got Matt playing Allure on our left. Do we have it on our sheet?
Don't.
No? You checked it? Of course.
We have shuffling going on is what we've got going on in our backup match.
Matt playing Pile Allurin. Oh, Knight of Souls Betrayal's in this set too?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that's like one of my favorite cards ever.
I thought there was a card that was first time foiling. Yeah, it's fixed. Was it ever not fixed?
Yeah. It was really interesting, Patrick, because we couldn't get Table 2 going for the last week. In fact, since last Friday, we haven't been able to get our Table 2 camera up. And then I talked to Brian today, and I was like, hey, before the stream, I need your help getting this camera up. And he goes, oh yeah, that's fine. I messed with it for a minute. Everything seemed to be working just fine. And I go, we like unplugged everything. We were like trying to figure out where the connection issue was. And next thing you know, I just pull it up and it's it's just what's up.
It's just working.
Yeah, it's just working. No, Knight of Souls Betrayal is not my favorite card. It is one of my favorite cards. It stops a lot of strategies.
I will certainly bring it up with him.
Yeah, absolutely. He is a super friendly guy too. He I'm glad you've noticed that as well. Every time I watch him play, I'm just like in awe. He plays so well.
You're watching my match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna have some fun game too.
Okay.
Okay. Brian just pops in. I'm sure you heard everything, but he goes, "You guys are watching my match, right?" And we're like, yeah. And he goes, "Good, because we're gonna have some fun in match 2 or round 2."
So that you can end miracles once and for all. Yeah, I'm not sure what the best way. What do you? Josh right now is on a soothsaying counterbalance list. I've seen him play a mentor version, and I've seen him play one with no mentor and like a 1 copy of Entreat the Angels, recently-ish.
I'd say in the last 2 months, he's played maybe every other week. He's on a new...
Yeah, a tweak.
Yeah, a tweak on the deck. He's trying... I do think that he's trying to find the best version of the deck. Either that, or he just likes messing around with the strategy.
Minifer, do you use a different screen name for the source? Is that how the best way to go about it, or would you prefer to just try and contact you through Twitch?
Yeah, Minifer, you're welcome to give your screen name or anything like that. If you just whisper us, we can see that.
All right, we're back for game 2 here. Brian said he's going to do something fun. I'm excited to see what this fun thing is.
I want to see something fun.
All right, I will, at the very least, write that down and
sure.
Pass it on.
Oh, you know what else we need to do? I know we haven't seen Meal Solutions tonight, but we got to show off that altar you did for Meal Solutions. Or at least I want to show it off.
I've sent it off. It's in the mail, but I can show you it on my phone. I've got a picture of it. Meal Solutions is in South Carolina, so he had some wind. I guess.
That's what I heard.
Just a little bit.
Heard it's a bit windy down there.
He might be busy with other things. Here's a card, and it's gonna get flusterstormed.
Yeah, have a great night, Have a great night, Minifer.
This is I forgot the name. What's this card?
Leyline of Sanctity.
No.
Oh.
The blue one that.
Oh goodness gracious! All I can remember is that you
get to go find 3 cards and remove them from your library.
Yes, you remove them from your library and then you draw a card.
Yeah, and it got flusterstormed.
Yeah.
Because Josh is a jerk.
He is one of those.
It's man. It's in Nemesis, right? Manipulate fate. Thank you. There it is.
Let's pull that
there
one
it is.
up.
Look at that thing. Look at that person manipulating fate. Or
whatever he's doing.
Creating a semicircle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so usually he'll just go get 3 Miss Hologriffins, sometimes 2 Miss Hologriffins and the Eternal Scourge. Or whatever it is.
Any time that we can give you a chance to, demean us slightly, we're gonna do it.
You knew that was so easy. Guys, we want to give you a chance to be a part of the stream,
it's called
okay?
Interactive streaming, right? Yeah.
If we knew the name of all the cards, then how are we supposed to get you interacting? Paragon picked us very specifically.
Right.
Oh, you guys know what's going on in the games? Yeah, we know what's going on. Yeah, but do you know all the names of the cards? No. You guys are perfect.
Burning Catacombs goes and finds a...
I know Brian likes to search for basics, even though there are no wastelands across the way. Yeah, we want to give you a see, Captain QC, you get it. You got it all along. I don't know why you had to get all mean to us about it.
Yeah, and if you can correct the players as they're playing, even better.
Yeah, even better.
That's interacting with multiple people all at the same time. Yeah, you watch somebody on Magic Online and you tell them they did something wrong. You can't make them change Magic Online.
No.
You can change the game state here.
I love watching people playing online on Twitch, and like the chat just like freaks out. You should do this, and then the person who they're watching is always like, no, I'm not going to do that. And here's like 25 reasons why. You know, every time I'm like, oh my goodness, this is why I could not do a stream of me playing Magic.
All right, I'm ready for whatever exciting thing that Brian was going to do. Whatever sideboard card he brought in.
Yeah, he needs to get going with this, because... Yeah. Okay, here's a Brainstorm. Or a Groot Storm, sorry. Josh had a Baneslayer Angel. I kind of wanted him just like...
Can you beat this? Slam.
Telling you guys when cards should be exiled.
There's a card that Brian
exactly.
would be able to deal with a Baneslayer right now.
Probably not. I mean, Josh brings stuff like this out of the board, right? He's feeling the card. Okay, how much can I feel this this paint?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it too.
Yeah, I don't see any fun either.
Yep. So far, we've seen some lands and some manipulate fates that got countered. All right, Polluted Delta finds an island, and shuffling. Maybe that's what was
something might happen soon. Looks like a normal Miracles match to you. Yeah, I know. Brian promised us the goods, and I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, here's a Leovold.
Yeah, this resolves. I don't think this is going to do a whole lot in the face. Okay, he does have the swords.
He drew a card. First
yes.
read. That's what happened. And he gains some life. Ooh, Force of Will.
Yeah, we will force the swords. Yeah, I like this choice by Brian too. I mean, this does open up Josh to just cast Baneslayer, which is bad news for Brian.
So if he had a Rancor in his deck right now, he'd be in an alright spot. No,
Angel has first strike.
Yeah, that wouldn't help.
I mean, Rancor is that good.
almost that good.
See, Rancor could probably get Josh to concede.
Rancor, Shoot.
Which, when I played Rancor in my deck, I think that every opponent that saw it wished they had conceded to it.
So Brian got Josh to tap out.
Yes.
He got to cast Food Chain. Brian has a Disenchant in hand. So can Brian do something right now? He can delve away some cards. That's not going to matter.
Not yet. But now he can sacrifice this for a good chunk of mana.
Yep. Except it's going to get Disenchanted.
If the turn passes, yeah.
Yeah, you can still attack with a Giant Ballista. The Leyline doesn't completely shut down the Ballista, does it? Alright, so he gets a whole bunch of mana. The Angler costs 7, right?
Yeah, so this is 10 mana. So he's going to make a huge Hydra.
No, it's more than that, because Food Chain gives plus, right?
Oh, +1.
Yeah.
You're right. So 8 plus 4, that should be 12 mana? Yeah, so Genesis Hydra for 10. Thank you, chat. And he's going to get to cast one of these cards. None of this looks great.
Oh. But he's got a 10-10.
He does have a 10-10. So he sees Ballista, which does nothing.
If he wanted one of them in his graveyard, he could have put one in there.
Did he pick one?
Nope.
He just decided not to?
I don't think there was anything to do.
He could have brainstormed, right? Or is it...
Genesis is a creature.
A creature?
Yeah.
Well, that was somewhat a failure.
Yeah, he needed a... He wanted a... Every time, right? A Griffin there.
Yeah.
And then he would have been able to...
Yep, Disenchant's going to take care of this. It's going to take 5. We're going to see a big life swing.
Non-land permanent. I'm sorry, not a creature.
Non-land permanent, okay.
So he could have cast another food chain if he had found one.
Yeah. All right, swing for 10. Put him down to 10.
13.
Or sorry, 13.
3 plus. Ooh.
Deluge for 5.
Toxic Deluge.
And oh man. Yeah, if we don't see swords from Josh very I spoke too soon. All right. Gaining 10 life.
And that guy gets exiled. That Genesis Hydra.
Yeah.
Again, I'll run out there if it matters.
Okay. I don't think in this matchup it will.
Well, he has delve things and there's things why sometimes it might.
Probably should tell him now then. Before he makes a decision.
I think he's only got the one angler, one Gurmak.
Okay.
Trinket Mage.
Interesting. Trinket Mage gets Ballista. Or Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle, Pithing.
Maybe the P is silent.
Pithing?
It's Ithing. I'm not sure.
I think it's Pithing Needle, but I say it differently every time.
It's an acupuncture needle. That's what it is. He names a card probably with that needle.
Jace, I would assume. You don't name Soothsaying.
Probably not.
You probably name Jace. Deathray Shaman.
Probably didn't name Deathray Shaman with his needle. That's just a guess.
That's a good guess.
Oh. Pitting?
Pitting?
Pitting.
Pitting.
Obviously.
Oh.
Obviously. Trinket Mage Beatdown.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that we were going to see that in Legacy today, but here it comes.
Me neither.
Lord of the Pitting.
Pitting Needle?
No, I'm just getting confused. And even I know. Yes, that's great. Counterbalance. I thought we were done with that card forever.
Yeah, well. We all think things.
I do have an invocation one. So
Do you?
I wouldn't mind if it became relevant to me.
Well, so you can get rid of it for a higher value?
I guess. I don't know. I like the art on it, so
I really like the art on
I'm
the
not really going to
invocation
get
one.
rid of it anytime
It's
soon.
really cool.
So when Brian poked his head in here, do you think he was thinking Trinket Mage Beatdown? Is that what he was going to do?
I mean, this is not something I was expecting,
He
so
wanted to show
I'm
off
pretty okay with
The
it.
Trinket Mage Beatdowns. Down to 5 life.
Brainstorm. Alright, misses with counterbalance.
You're welcome, Captain QC. We can mispronounce names all you want. Mr. Griffin.
We got a Griffin!
Oh, we're going to try and counter
Oh,
this.
it's going to be a Jace. It's just going to blind
Yeah.
Alright, Brian. Cut well. And Jace. Oh!
Hey, line of thinking. So he had more than just a few.
Magic number for blind flips is 4.
Here's the card that just got counterbalanced. Yeah, we're guessing it's on Jace the Mind Sculptor as well.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been that or Soothsaying, right? Brian's like, yeah, I get my brainstorm. He's got a Terminus on top. He's got lands in hand. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
So he's gonna play. He doesn't even have a fetch land to shuffle those away. This game, it's been one.
Yeah. Josh's total blind flip counter is
2.
It's
2
2
for the day. Yeah, he countered a Jace with a Jace
Uh-huh.
earlier, round 1, right? Or
Old school
round
legendary rule right there.
2. You've got a Planeswalker? I do too. Walking Ballista for
8.
a lot.
I'm tapping 8 mana. It's a 4/4.
And
It's gonna
Josh
get Council's Judgment.
Has a removal.
Okay, it's a land Jace. That's not great. He probably just wants to take a fetch and fetch these away. No, maybe it's not another.
He keeps a Jace. Interesting. He does have disenchant in his deck, right?
Well, he can Council's Judgment the pithing needle or pitting needle.
It's breeding pitting needle.
Pitting needle. Yeah, and cast Jace.
So this is kind of interesting. I've read that there may be a change to the way Planeswalker damage works. That you will no longer be able to redirect damage. So Lightning Bolt will say 3 damage to any target, meaning that Lightning Bolt can directly target a Planeswalker. This hasn't happened yet. This isn't official, but it's being discussed. The one thing where it really matters is with Leyline of Sanctity, because right now Jace is protected from Walking Ballista, from being pinged by Walking Ballista, whereas it wouldn't be under the new rules.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that'll be a thing. Because it's unintuitive, right? If you sit down and try and explain to people, haha, I've got this card that can deal 3 damage to you, or I can change it and redirect it to your Planeswalker, it's pretty awkward. I think that it would be nice to have...
It does make more sense for it to be able to deal direct damage to the Planeswalker. The Planeswalker shouldn't be affected by the Leyline too. Haha, Leyline protects me and Jace.
Yeah.
What now? Yep, and this is definitely taking the turn towards Josh.
Council's Judgment getting rid of a needle? That's not very fair.
Nope. Can't you just see a council just talking about this needle? Yeah. Like, yep.
Is it pithing or pithing? That's what they'd be saying.
Yeah.
Nobody could decide.
Days later, they're like, okay, we finally decided that this is how you say it. Now what do we do with it? Well, I thought we'd get rid of it.
Let's pass judgment on it. I feel like we've done this before, where Jace is looking at the top card of Brian's library.
I can see it in a 2-player conversation too, where it's just like one guy, and he's just like, all right, Council, what do you think? He like looks around, nobody's around him, he goes, yep, we're going to do this.
Well, Brian gets a say too. He can choose to
and then he
include another card.
He looks at the defendant and he goes, what do you think? And he's like, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Nope, it doesn't. Okay, we're good.
Kyle, you're really getting into this, Council.
Every time I see it, I'm just like, oh my goodness, this makes no sense in a 2-player scenario.
Right. Yes, I'm waiting. We're waiting. Once he gets demolished. I don't know. At any moment, he's ramping up to 15 mana right now. 3, 6, 9, 6 more to go. His one of Embercool might make an appearance.
Yeah. That would do it.
Trinket Mage?
You got it.
I don't even need to counter that. Another Ballista. We did have some Trinket Mage beatdowning. Josh has a Terminus in hand that he can hard cast and still have plenty of lands left over. Yep. We're gonna let him know that we're still waiting. I don't know if he said good game. He said something though.
He said fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Yeah.
Trinket Mage isn't exactly what I envisioned when I was thinking of fun stuff, but it is a cool card.
He got to try and cast a Mist Holographin. And Counterbalance took care of that.
He casted a 10/10 Genesis Hydra.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, and that rule might not even be a thing, right? It's just being discussed as a potential.
I think it definitely should be something that happens.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something that gets in the way of it. If the rules team or whoever says misdirection. Wait, Force of Will, pitching misdirection. Okay,
yeah.
I was gonna say misdirection doesn't work on Terminus, and Flusterstorm deals with the Force of Will. I think it would be unfortunate if there is some reason why it can't have blue. Because that bothers me too.
Yeah.
The fact that we have reminder text on cards, and yet there's no text anywhere that explains how you can redirect to planeswalkers.
Exactly.
Ah, exiled cards. He can play them from exile.
He can. But there's a terminus. He needs them to somehow have haste as well.
Josh looks at the top card of his library
and puts it on the bottom. Alright, play Eternal Scourge. You got it. Play Mistral Griffin. Dang it. So close.
Alright, he's got 5 power on the board.
And Terminus.
But it puts him on the bottom of his library. It gives him more turns.
Oh, it does. Oh, that is interesting.
Okay, Jay. Yes, there are other things, but most of those are pretty intuitive, right? Yes, every instant doesn't say flash. You can play this whenever you could play an instant. I'm gonna plus Jace and put that card on the bottom of your library. Maybe he'll leave it on top. We don't know. We don't know. It does seem like the correct play. Aww.
Boo.
Bounces Griffin back to his hand. Plays a Soothsaying. Gets a bunch of tokens. Brian goes, what is this card? Wait a minute. I've been out of town. What is happening?
Got another counterbalance. Get a 1/1.
So when you have 2 counterbalances out, it tips the balance in somebody's favor. That's what happens.
I was wondering about that. Thank you.
Attack for 3!
I'm going to block with this thing. Okay. Cast a Griffin. Cast the Deathray Shaman. Got it.
Aww.
And we know he has a sword, so that should be enough for Brian to know this is done. That
Leyline of Sanctity really affected this game, right?
A lot.
So there was a couple times where Brian had a Walking Ballista. He would have been able to take care of Jace, and it made a difference.
Yeah, and the blind flip was huge too.
Josh is going to play it. Now, wait a minute. If you have a Jason play, and you have to look at the top card of the target opponent's library, and they don't have a library, what happens? How does that work?
Brian still seems to think that there's something going on here. He's still playing the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even before there was still a shot.
Josh should play Terminus. Make him keep going.
Josh is like, nope, I want to play more. I want to win with damage. He's just doing it for the stream. Yeah, probably.
He just disenchanted his own counterbalance to get a monk token. Okay. And
good guy, Brian.
Here's the new one.
Hardcast Terminus. Do it!
This is what you get.
Block.
So Food Chain might be the only deck that can actually still do things after Jace Ultimates.
Yeah. Just attack you for 1. Attack you for 1. Oh, that's great.
Pass the turn. Brian untaps, and he can't draw. He lost to Josh.
Unbelievable. I expected more of Brian.
We did get to see a Food Chain cast.
We did.
And we got to see it
and sack some creatures to it.
Die.
Yep, it did.
Its enchantment was dissed.
It did.
Alright, I'm pretty sure our other matches no more. Is no more. Alright, so we're going to have one more round for you guys. And we probably don't have to wait too long for it to start.
Probably not.
Oh, I thought you meant like giving Brian a chance since he's a new player. For a minute there. Okay. With his foiled out food chain deck, I'm not sure that he qualifies as a new player. I get you though. So Josh takes that. Keep you updated here. Okay. There we go. Round 3 goes to Josh.
Are we going to look at other things?
Let's look at...
Is it the unset? The unlands?
Right? That's all you need. and bad decision making skills. I agree. I agree completely. That's fantastic. Alright, there's a card that was spoiled from this set. What is it? There's a new Veil, right?
There's a new what? It's one of the flip cards.
Yeah. Primal Emma? No.
I can't remember.
What are Origins? Oh, we don't get to see the other side of the card?
There's no other side of this one.
No.
It doesn't have the little...
No, it's not this one. I picked wrong.
Yeah, it has to have one of the little emblems up in the top left corner. So it's going to be 1, 2,
The
3,
compass.
4, 5.
There we go. Here's it. No, that's not it. That's the compass is kind of the Maze of Ith. New Maze of Ith, right?
Yep.
That one's
This is
interesting.
new Maze of Ith.
Is this the first time you're playing? Welcome to playing Magic.
He'd probably have a laugh attack knowing Brian.
Dousing Dagger. Okay. It's an equipment cost 2. Let's see if I can pull this up. Let's do it like this. There we go.
That works.
Here it
Good
is.
enough.
When it enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 2 O2 plants with Defender. Okay. You get to equip a creature +2/+1. Whenever it deals damage to a player, you get to transform it into a land that taps for 3 mana of any one color. Seems like a lot of work to ramp, but this is kind of interesting. You could put it on a Slitherblade as a way to unblockably attack. So you pay Slitherblade costs 1. You
Okay.
play this on 2. Turn 3, you get to equip Slitherblade, attack for 3, and you get you then have 4 mana that turn, 6 or 7 mana the next turn.
That seems awful.
I'm just brainstorming here. Come on, for me. I haven't spent a lot of time on it. Most of these cards are interesting because they're powerful cards on the other side, but they're really hard to make happen, right?
Well, a lot of what makes these cards powerful in the first place is how early you can play them. And this is not the card that we were just looking at. It's not something you're going to do quickly.
No, most of them I don't think so.
It's going to take you, on a good day, it's going to take you from 5 mana to 8 mana, and that's just a standard card. That's not a modern or legacy card.
Okay. We're going to keep digging. I haven't found one yet, but I'm going to try. This is a card, 2 for a 2/2 flying, I believe, haste. It's in Russian at the moment, but let's see. Wait, here we go.
I like the art.
Click on it. Flying Menace. Oh,
Flying
it's
Menace.
not haste.
Yeah, not great. Oh well.
Okay, we've got Brian on Food Chain versus
TJ. On Solar Control. I say we should watch Brian again. I want to see some Food Chain. Don't tell him I said that.
Well, we've seen enough of the miracles, right?
Yeah, we've seen it for 2 rounds. We saw it a lot last week. I want to see the week before too. Josh has really been successful with this deck lately.
And it might go a little longer, so than Food Chain. So we can. He's going to be playing against. I don't know. So we've got Maze of Ith, we've got Lotus Veil, we've got Primal Amulet turns into a card that copies an instant or sorcery when you use the mana to cast that.
Yeah, I think that card is incredible.
So that one is actually pretty strong, right? Ace, I totally understand how you feel. Just, what, a year ago almost today, we didn't have much of a paper legacy here as well. And there was a lot of players that wanted to have it, and it was just a matter of getting them enough the dice rolled onto the classes, getting them together, and getting a place to play.
It's definitely not an easy community to start up either.
Right.
How many years did it take for the community that we have here to exist?
Yeah.
Many.
Quite a while. There was a long time before we had enough to get 10, 20 people playing Legacy on the same night. All right, here we go. But, I mean, if you really are in a community you can't play and you want to, there's always Magic Online, right?
Yeah.
But
and it's actually much cheaper
yeah.
to jump into online.
Right. It's also, I can see why it wouldn't be very fun though. It could get pretty stale.
Yeah, Gaia's Cradle is another one of the flip cards, which I can't remember how easily that one flips, but
you have to have like 4 creatures, right?
We get to see Brian lose again. Sweet. Jurgensen, that is like exactly what I would have said. if I were in the chat. Oh my goodness. Oh man, dreams do come true.
We get a 2/10 ship vehicle. All you have to do is attack with it, and then it transforms into a land that taps for colorless. You can pay 2 to draw a card and discard a card, pay 4 to draw a card, or pay 6 to return a card from your graveyard to your hand.
I actually think that card's quite good.
It's cool art.
Yeah.
Both arts.
Yeah, both of them
really
are
sweet.
incredible.
Ace, we are in Utah. We're in Draper, Utah, which is
just south of Salt Lake City.
Yeah, just 30 minutes of downtown Salt Lake, or 30 minutes-ish from Provo. What is it? 40 minutes?
It's right in between. Is it really 30 minutes from Salt Lake? I don't think it's that far.
It is when I try to come here on Friday nights.
Oh yeah, Friday night, sure.
You get rush hour traffic. No, it's only like what, 15 minutes.
Probably like
on
10,
a normal
15.
day.
Yeah.
The pre-order for the new Guy's Cradle one is expensive.
That's silly. I don't actually think that there's a lot of value in this
maybe in standard.
excellent set.
The new Guy's Cradle might be playable in standard. What is the main card from it?
Probably not. Yeah, pre-orders are dumb. They always try to hype up cards, and they're always going to be cards that are just super overhyped.
They're
and
always wrong.
Yeah. All right. We have got going over here. We had a Deathrite Shaman get forced and a Deathrite Shaman from TJ.
I don't think the Faraska is a $20 Planeswalker either.
No,
and
no
right
way.
now I think that's what its
Yeah.
pre-order price is.
Yeah, not even close.
It's not that. It's not that. I don't remember which one it is. Leovold, foil Leovold. We've got a battle of the foil Leovolds.
Jeez.
At least we could.
Yeah. Yep,
respond with a brainstorm, since that's not going to happen anymore after that.
Yeah. Did he tap his mana?
Yeah, so it seems like these iconic cards, or that's a bad way to say it, they're often the ones that pre-order the highest because they're so hyped. Right?
Yeah.
And because a lot of people can't look at them and immediately tell if they're going to be good or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's something new and different.
Did he brainstorm with the labeled in play?
I think so.
I think he did.
Put 2 cards back? Did he put 2 cards back? I missed actually how that worked.
I believe he did, and then he fetched. Because TJ still has all of his mana untapped.
I'm still excited for the Hostage Taker. 4 mana.
Mm-hmm.
You get to exile a card, artifact or a creature, and then you can cast it. That's pretty great.
He drew 1 and put 2 back.
Counterspell.
So this is a Fierce Empath.
It got countered.
Yeah. It's this is another card you probably don't see every day, but it can search for a creature with converted mana cost 6 or greater.
I tried to fatally push a Fierce Empath, one of Brian's Fierce Empath. That very same one once.
Probably.
It didn't work.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I didn't have more of it.
You're like, my fatal push doesn't kill your 1/1.
It's a 1/1, come on!
You didn't want to kill it anyway.
No. Hey, it's a food chain.
And we're fetching.
A foil Russian food chain.
Yeah. They fetch a hefty price. When I heard what he was getting him for, I just go, "Oh, Brian, that's great."
Neat. Well done.
Applause. Yep, you found that thing you did.
Oh, he's got a hard force of will, hard counter, hard cast.
Yes.
Hard counter.
Yeah, I actually think it is Japanese. I don't
is
think,
it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's Russian.
It's Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was Russian way back then. Huh? We've got a phone.
You know what this is going to be? Oracle text.
On
food chain.
Food chain.
Yep, absolutely Oracle text.
See, Jorgensen, again, I'm just trying to provide some interactivity. Just allowing you to correct me on my...
That's not Russian, that's Japanese.
I know what it says. I just don't know what language it is.
Didn't you know, Bryce? The Russian ones are strictly worse than the Japanese ones.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
They don't give you plus the mana.
Oh, that sucks. That'd be a weird misprint.
Yeah, it would. On to...
I think I could hear that
yeah.
from here, even though we're in like a practically soundproof room. Yes, that's why they're strictly worse. Hey, if you had them, they'd probably be pretty valuable.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to make you draw cards. That's what he's going to do.
That's really interesting.
2 cards, in fact. Two separate targets. Leovold says, okay.
That is fine by me.
I guess Leovold plus Deathrite Shaman meant Brian lost this turn. So this way he gets to play 1 more turn. It's a Goyf. From the future. We're going to do some math that's pretty irrelevant here. Counting on fingers. I love how Goyfs cause people to count on fingers. Like, I've said instant sorcery creature land several times and then thought about it and went, I have no idea how many things I just said out loud. You have to instant sorcery creature land.
That's what the Guave Rocks are for.
Mm-hmm.
You start them out. You start them out on the 1-2, and then you just slowly tick them up as you count. That way you don't have to do it on your fingers and you look silly.
Force of Will, being able to cast it for 5 to take out Brian's food chain. That was rude.
Yeah.
Effective, but rude. Here's our other match. We've got Josh on Miracles versus not Brian on food chain. I'll start correcting all that stuff. Here we go. This is Calvin.
I believe this is Calvin. There's not a mat I've seen of his before. Because Calvin hasn't been to a Pro Tour. This is a Pro Tour mat.
This is Grixis Control.
Is it Control?
It is now. It has been the last couple weeks.
He plays a lot of Delver too, though. Do you think he's actually switched over?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen his list.
Cool.
It's almost card for card mine without Kess.
Without Kess. So yours is just way better.
Way better.
like so much better.
And we don't know which game this is. This could easily be game 2. That guy has definitely never been to a Pro Tour.
Well, the mat came out, and I was like, who is that? Because I couldn't think, because I see a Pro Tour mat, and I'm like, okay, the first question I asked myself is, who in our store has been, who has been to a Pro Tour?
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized it's Calvin, and I'm like, he's been throwing me off. Calvin's good player. If you wanted to go to a Pro Tour, you could.
Yep.
On the downside, all of the tournaments that get you into Pro Tours, guess what they aren't? Legacy.
Which is too bad.
It is too bad.
So Calvin took that one with a Colligan's command for 2. Josh happened to be at 2.
That'll do it.
It works out pretty well. We can give at least one of these games to Calvin.
I say I say one thing, and Jorgensen's always like, "Oh man,
is that a Pro Tour mat? Just go take it."
Not true over the next
You don't
year.
deserve this.
Obviously, Kyra meant the rudest thing possible.
Go get a Sharpie and just cross out that Pro Tour on his mat.
You've never been there.
Especially Pro Tour Zendikar.
Give up the mat. Give it up. You haven't even been playing that long.
Where was Pro Tour Zendikar? In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, of course.
I will say this: that is a gorgeous mat. It is so cool looking.
Because it's actually not card art. It's an Eldrazi.
Well, this is the city of Milwaukee.
With
Milwaukee, yeah.
That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Unique and something different, as opposed to just card art. I like it.
Preach. Hey, I gotta defend myself a little bit, all right?
Is there a Legacy PPT2? No, there are PPTQs, but there's not RPTQs, right?
No, there are not PPTQs.
There's no Legacy?
No.
What?
No, we were able to hold a GPT
right.
With Legacy, but no. Milwaukee? Okay.
Throwing out the Wayne's World reference. Wow. There we go. It's been some time. I think I saw a Wayne's World in my junior high auditorium because it was like a snow day and only half the school showed up, and so they showed Wayne's World. Yeah, that was some time ago.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I quite like. What are we doing? Let's go like this. Oh, we're still doing this. Here we go. I quite like custom altered playmats. Obviously,
okay.
I have a certain proclivity towards that type of stuff, right?
I used to own one of those,
and I've seen some that are gorgeous.
Yeah, they can be really cool.
There was a pretty cool one that I saw. Somebody, the artist, did it with acrylic, and then has since made prints of it. It's the artist for one of the Hymn to Torox that has that pattern on the floor that they're all gathered around. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I can pull it up.
Yeah, Jorgensen. I'm actually aware of that tournament. Brian has been talking to me and my brother about teaming up for that one. as it turns out, we feel like we'd be a pretty decent team for that event. Brian is a very, very knowledgeable Legacy player. My strongest forte happens to be Modern, and my brother is probably one of the best Standard players I know. So, don't let him play Food Chain. He probably would play Food Chain. It's the deck that he's most familiar with. I mean, he day 2'd the last GP with it.
Mm-hmm.
I would trust him on it.
And interesting in a team format more so than
very interesting in a team format.
In an open. The Liz Danforth Hymn to Turok is on a playmat, and that's cool because it's not the actual art; it's just the pattern on the floor.
Oh, cool!
So it's like you're playing on the floor of the card art. You don't have the actual people. It's this one, not that one. This. Oh, come on! Sorry, guys. This one. There's a playmat out there with that pattern.
You know, Captain QC, that is something that Paragon has not done yet. We have shirts, we have like different bags you can get, but we do not have playmats with our logo.
We have this playmat, but it's a two-person.
Yeah, it's a 2-person playmat. We have them on every table too.
It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do not need a mat to play at our store.
Liliana of the Veil? What? What is this?
This is a good card.
Making you sacrifice things is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to edict you and make you sacrifice things.
This has been really interesting because I've actually watched Brian play this deck, and I've played against him a number of times. He really has not gotten his strategy going at all
Getting to play
yet.
against all these control builds. He obviously won round 1.
Mm-hmm. Well, he won round 1 and 2.
Yeah, yeah. What is the favorite hymn art? The Quentin Hoover art is pretty fantastic. I agree.
I like the one that everyone hates the most. I'm serious. Every person who's told me their favorite, I'm like, or their least favorite. That one's my favorite.
The Scott Kushner?
Yes, the table.
The table.
That is my favorite.
And the Susan one with the giant wolf.
It's cool.
Three Wolf Moon hymn. He prefers this table one. I love how if you're a Magic guy and you're having a conversation with Magic people, you can always be like, all right, so kind of Hymn to Turok art do you like?
Yeah. See, you guys feel the same way. Like every time I'm like, yeah, I like the table one. People are always like, really? That one? Like if most people, if they want to not include one of them, it's the table one that we're showing
like that
people.
table in all caps.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
The Eternal Masters one. So
the EMA one's
sometimes
fine.
if that's all you can do and you want them in foil, all right, I guess.
Yeah. If you want them in foil, definitely. I think I have the From the Vault one,
So
which is the same art.
TJ found the answer for Food Chain because he wanted to make this stream no fun at all.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Food Chain 2? Food Chain 2.
Yeah. The EMA one does look better than the From the Vault one, just because the foiling's better. But we have to pull up the EMA one.
I guess.
It's definitely cool. I like the EMA one quite a bit. I don't hate any of the arts, truthfully.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the circle on the floor ritual thing anyway, much either. But seeing the playmat, I thought was gorgeous. And you guys could find that probably faster than I could right now.
Cloak and circle up first, yeah. It doesn't really matter though, because it's Hoover all day, every day. And that one is really great.
If you want to go pricey, try and find signed Quentin Hoover hymns.
Good luck.
Yeah, especially because he changed his signature. It progressed as he got older. So there's like really nice signatured ones, and then some that are kind of an older style.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it affects the price.
All right, Brian. He's sacking it. Playing a missile. Playing a Griffin. Getting a bunch of mana. Alright. We have infinite mana.
And? He's got 4. Jorgensen. It's okay. I forgive you.
It's not okay. But I still forgive you.
You could have them again if you really want to.
Yeah.
I don't know where you'll find them, but I'm sure somebody sells them.
Probably.
They might not be legitimately signed. It would be hard to fake that signature, but like I said, I've seen enough variety of his signature that I wouldn't be surprised if somebody would take a handful of hymns and try and forge it. Yeah, I've seen them for more than 200 actually. Or I saw one, but it was pretty. And it's not even foil.
Right. There are people who hate foils, though. I know for one, Josh Snow, the guy who's been playing Miracles tonight.
Just a quick video, we'll never talk about it again. You lost me, Captain QC.
Yeah, I'm way confused.
There you go.
Jorgensen hates foils? I do not blame people for hating foils. I actually don't love them. Which is kind of funny because I'm in the process of foiling out a cube. But anything outside of my cube, people will be like, here, like, this is for your deck. It's a foil. I'm like, I don't care.
All right, here's a Manipulate Fate. Brian gets to go find 3 cards and exile them. He was banned for life. Oh, okay. Jite gives back. You can give the life back. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Jite. There's another magic question. You can always try and have an argument about how you pronounce that card. Umazawa's. Is it a jit?
Jit.
Or a jite?
Jitty.
Or a jitty? Is it like
it's not a jite.
The jetty?
It's
out in the
jetty.
We got some bouncing going on, some mana being cast, and a giant Genesis Hydra.
An infinitely large Genesis Hydra. This is gonna do it, guys.
Yeah, that's what it is. Is there a correct answer? I've heard English words that are pronounced 15 different ways, so I don't know.
I would assume there is technically a correct answer, but even once you find the correct answer, you're going to be like, wow, that was an unnecessary amount of time that I put into finding something that doesn't matter.
It's freaking Jite. That's what it is.
It's freaking Jite.
I'm gonna Stoneforge Mystic into my freaking Jite.
I will Stoneforge my Jite into play.
I've heard from Massacre Worm. That Deathrat Shaman is gone. It's been massacred. The Goyfs, however, are still around. We still got this Hamden Torah card up.
Yeah. Oh, I got it right. Okay, thank goodness.
I've heard from some Magic professional that it's Jit.
I've heard the same. Jorgensen just shared a link with us.
Oh dear. You took seconds of Googling? That was a waste of time. It's way more fun to argue about it without any substantial evidence. How to pronounce Jitte? Pronunciation in Japanese. Chiitte. Okay. We can listen to it, but we can't listen to it right now. Does he not run Emrakul? I'm pretty sure there's an Emrakul in this deck.
There is absolutely an Emrakul. He probably boarded it out for the matchup, I would assume. Otherwise, he would have just cast it off of Genesis Hydra, right? Or maybe he felt like Worm was better.
It's more fun.
I don't know.
Way? You get to cast Massacre Worm, which is also fun.
All right, we found a Abrupt Decay, and we're gonna get in.
Smash.
This is an infinitely large Genesis Hydra, so.
Can it be infinitely large?
Not technically, but
it's got to have a number on it.
Yeah. I'm sure he did name a number.
It's not like it's limited to the size of your library like that, right? You can just keep adding more mana to it. Okay, so he's going to take how big's Massacre Worm? What is that thing?
6/5.
Six damage there. 3 from the Leovold. That's 9. I can do math. Here we go. Missile Griffins are 3/3s.
Yep.
So there's another 6. So that's 15, and
everything is a 3/3 on the board, except for the 6/5 Massacre Worm.
That looks like lethal to me right there. Maybe he's attacking all of it at Liliana.
That's what I would do.
Uh-oh.
Fatal Push the big Hydra. Okay. Kill your Leovold.
So when you have a 20,000 Genesis Hydra,
take 15.
You can fatally push it into a pile of gold if you have a promo. This is true.
Whoa, what's going on? Why did his stuff untap? Oh, he just... Okay, so he just explained to TJ that after he attacks with the 2 Miss Hollow Griffin and the Eternal Scourge, that he can sack them to Food Chain and then replay them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, I'm sweating. And Brian did the thing!
He did do the thing. We're on to game 3 there, guys.
Yeah. Brian did the thing that he wanted to do. And we get to see
we got to jump over to this other match for a moment.
Miracles versus Grixis Control.
We're probably in game 3 here. That's my guess. Ooh, look at Calvin showing off some invocations.
Invocation, Force of Will.
This is an interesting situation. We've got a Jace on one side that's... Can Jace tick up?
No.
How is it
it can... It doesn't have to target, because it's the... Maybe it can't. I believe all Planeswalkers can use their plus ability.
You look at the top card of target player's library, so you can look at your own.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course you can. We knew that.
Yeah.
Leyline is Sanctity does.
I was gonna say, I'm like, you should be able to. Yeah.
Sorry, it's round 4.
we have this conversation after like every stream. We're like, why do we always get like super flustered by just like any card doing anything in round 4? Like it's almost like we forget what the game is.
There's a Jace looking right across at a Leyline just for a moment. I was confused.
Yeah.
All right, Jace goes up to 11. Magic number is 12, which is really closer to 13. How it works out.
I don't think Josh was planning on losing to the card that he plans on winning with.
That Pyromancer is really young.
It's very young.
And it's going to die young.
Yeah, the worm really doesn't seem great against all the 3
right.
plus toughness creatures.
Ooh. Opposing Jace. Old Legend rule doesn't matter, and he's got a counterspell. It just gets countered. All right, Josh has no way to deal with this Jace, does he? He might draw a card. He could exile it or something, right? Council's Judgment right here, off the top.
He brainstorms? Oh yeah, of course he brainstorms, because there's really no... At this point, there really isn't any use on like continuing to plus, because he can't ultimate and target Josh anyway.
Oh man, see, here I was thinking the game's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't Fate Seal Josh, but he can Fate Seal himself. So he can plus Jace, but he can't. Well, I guess he could use his ultimate on himself, but he wouldn't want it. He can't ultimate on Josh.
Yeah, Leyline is insane. Yeah, he's gonna have to find a win condition with damage, or a way to deal with this ley line.
All right, we've got 14 to 10, and Josh is just playing off the top of his library right now. A little bit different situation than we've seen him in previously. Right, he can't ultimate. And our other match is still shuffling up here.
Make sure we know what leyline does. Yeah, for now.
I'm not sure he has an answer in his deck that can deal with leyline.
I don't think he does.
I can't think of one.
Unless he has a cryptic command, which I doubt.
No. So this is probably game 3, but I'm not sure because we just jumped into this one.
Yeah, hates control. Calvin did win game 1. We don't know if this is still game 2 or if this is a game 3.
And we're gonna jump back into the game that we have been watching. That's on game 3, Food Chain versus Soul Type Control here in just a second. This is kind of our backup match while these guys are shuffling up. And Josh draws a land and says go.
Yep.
Yeah. Regardless, he's in a better spot than.
I love how it's the person named hates control is the person who jumps in and comments on the match between Miracles and Grixis Control. It's like, I bet that's your dream matchup, huh? Hates control.
All right, we've got Thoughtseize. We got to see Brian's hand of Food Chain here. He's got 2 Death Threats, a Food Chain, a Leovold, Brainstorm, so this is interesting. Mist Griffin and a land. He probably wanted to Brainstorm pretty early here. That's obviously what I would take, especially against 2 Death Threat Shamans.
The other option is to just take the Food Chain and force him to find another, but I do agree with you. I think the Brainstorm is the most threatening thing to push Brian's strategy.
If he had a fetch land, then that ramps so much quicker into Food Chain, then maybe I would take Food Chain instead.
Not only that, but seeing that Brian actually can't put a land into the graveyard, this matters a lot. If you take the Brainstorm, it's very possible that he doesn't have a fetch land, for the next X amount of turns. So he takes Leovold. That's really interesting to me. I agree, Jesse. I think you want to take the Food Chain in most cases, but the Brainstorm is definitely an arguable. The Brainstorm is a.
Oh, okay. So TJ plays a Wasteland. I don't think Brian really minds that much.
No, not too much. I mean, it's not irrelevant, that's for sure. Yep.
So we're going to see him probably pick up his whole hand here so to resolve Brainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice when you can play up like that, and you can help your opponent so you don't have to take time to write down cards, but Brainstorm makes that a lot trickier.
From what I can see, I don't think he got very many land. Maybe just 1 land. Yeah. You have Delta.
But it's a fetch land, so there's more lands in the graveyard.
Yeah,
so next turn he can play Food Chain.
Yeah. Get a basic swamp, and we will play another Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, interesting that TJ chose to Wasteland there. He's probably thinking in his head, oh man, he only has 1 land. I can take it. But it loses to the Brainstorm that he left in hand.
All right, so I think TJ has an Abrupt Decay. You're right. This is all around bad. Ooh, he doesn't. If he does have an Abrupt Decay, he didn't use it here. Maybe he doesn't have one. I guess you could save it for the food chain here, huh? Get rid of it that way. That makes more sense.
Alright. Correct the polluted delta. Drop.
So Brian, at the moment, he could sack his death rights if he really wanted to add 4 mana, right?
Yeah.
In response to this abrupt decay coming down here. Or a counterspell, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Counterspell, do it.
Ooh, there's a surgical extraction. On to plan B.
Well, it seems TJ had a very, very good plan for the food chains.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised he didn't
Take the brainstorm.
thought seize the food chain and just surgical it right away.
Yeah, we couldn't see his hand at the beginning of the game, and so we weren't exactly sure what he had to deal with, what Brian was doing.
Yes.
Yep, that's plan B.
So far. Maybe plan B is casting a Mist Holograph and attack for 3. 3/3 flyer is not a non-thing in Legacy. That actually is pretty strong. Brian did not beat Josh.
No, he didn't beat Josh.
So Josh, I think, just lost in the finals in round 4.
Oh, did that end?
Calvin. I think so.
I didn't see that it ended.
Yep,
Yeah, it is over.
I think he went 3-1, so Calvin is probably 4 now.
I would assume so.
And Calvin on Grixis control. And so these guys are playing for second place, pretty much. Alright. 3 mana says Leo? He's looking at it. There it is.
Yeah.
The non-foil one. Apparently this will type plays 2.
Yeah. Most of them do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I say Thoughtseize could have taken food chain right away, because if there had been a force of will in there, things would have been different. Death right number 3. 3 death rights block Leovold very nicely.
They do.
And he's going to attack into him.
We have a Fatal Push.
One of them dies fatally.
So he can... Yeah, so he'll tap for mana, it dies, and then we'll Fatal Push the...
And it doesn't target. It's each opponent loses 2 life, right? So Leovold doesn't trigger. That's correct, right?
Okay.
Another Death Right Shaman. All of the Death Rights.
Exile target land.
Yep, so each opponent loses 2 life, so targeting your opponent's cards in your opponent's graveyard Leovold doesn't care about that.
Right.
Some more Leovold beatdowning. There's currently no lands in graveyards, so Brian's on one mana. Just how he drew up this game 3. Is that a Fatal Push of his own?
Yeah, he has 2 Fatal Push in hand, actually. Not entirely sure why he didn't cast the Fatal Push when his Deathrite Shaman died.
He was tapped out at that. Well, he had a mana.
He had a Deathrite Shaman.
He chose to deal 2 damage instead.
Maybe there wasn't a land in the graveyard? I thought there was at the time, but...
Yeah, he exiled the land and dealt 2 damage with it.
Okay.
And removed the Fatal Push.
Yeah, that's interesting. I probably would have killed Leovold. But I'm not a food chain master, so what do I know?
And all of the value, the Vendilion Click, he didn't get to draw a card because of Leovold.
Yeah, you're excited for the push promos. They do look really good. I like them quite a bit. I like both of the push arts.
Still choosing not to push a Leopold. Could have done it right there.
Yeah, I wonder what he's waiting for.
Down to 7. Yeah, that brainstorm in his hand does not look very good with the Leopold out, right?
No.
Ah, take 2 damage, TJ. Down to 9. Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the scores, it's really close. Really.
Ha!
Ooh, Island. Okay.
Yeah, TJ's got a full grip. I imagine.
Yeah, there is a one of foil or one Thoughtseize in this deck.
Yeah, it's Russian.
Is it?
Yes,
Oh.
it is super expensive.
He's going to use Gogari Charm to regenerate his team with the Fatally Push guy. Thematically, you get pushed off of a thing and a charm regenerates you. Probably makes sense.
Yep. So I think he's conceding? No?
He's going to play us out. The foil Thoughtseize will probably... I don't know how far down it's going to go.
Probably not as much as you would think originally, but it will affect its value, 100%.
It's not going to be the $300 or whatever silly price it is right now.
Like just a normal Lorwyn Thoughtseize right now is like 50, which that's 30. That's like 30 higher than the Theros one. That's kind of ridiculous, but the art is something that people have a high preference for. So.
All right, can Brian get out of this Leopold lock? So I'm kind of surprised that he didn't try for Fatal Push earlier. All right, that does it. TJ with Sultai Control takes down Brian, and there's our other match already finished up. Pretty sure Calvin won on Grixis Control.
Yeah.
So that does it for our Tuesday. We got to see some Food Chain. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
We actually got to see Food Chain work.
One whole time.
Well, yeah. There was a really big Genesis Hydra on the table. We will be back here. You and I will be back here next Tuesday.
Yes.
But there will be another Legacy stream on Friday Night Magic. And there's also Standard on
Mondays.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate it, as always. We got to see Brian lose again. Evening complete. Hey, Jorgensen, I appreciate you joining us like always. That's awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Have a good night, guys.